live. We are live. We are live. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, snap. There's my phone. All right. All right.
Yep.
Welcome, my friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend. Sorry about that. My friends, my family, my fellow gamers. Your only friend, these YouTube streets. PlayStation 77. And we are back with another episode of 60 Frames No Lag with the crew. Cause you know how we do. We're gonna talk the good stuff. We got some great topics and stuff like that. First, I want to say shout out to the chat, to the viewers as you come in. Thank you so much for coming through. And for those that apply, I want to start wishing y'all happy Thanksgiving if it applies. If it doesn't, hey, I just want to wish y'all happy health and holidays and whatever else you celebrate and stuff like that. But let's go through the panel. We'll start with Craig. Top flight security of the world. Craig, what's going on?
Hey, what's happening? Appreciate everybody being here. Like you said, you're traveling over the week in the next few days to be with family and friends, or they're coming to see you. Hopefully, you all have a good one. Make sure you watch a lot of football, play a lot of games, and more importantly, hang out with your family. There's been we lost Big Mike this year in the community, so that's a family. Maybe keep them in your prayers because the first holiday is without that person is the hardest. So just keep them in their holidays, keep playing the games. Appreciate being here, and playing college football and playing getting feedback, playing college football and Spider Man. My goodness, in with the pro, geez, I mean they pulled no punches on that.
My man is like
So
G-Bus.
yeah,
G-Bus.
yeah, I couldn't believe the difference that I was seeing. And but yeah, here to have some fun. Yeah, we can talk. I hope we talk the Lego thing first because I still don't. Well, we'll just talk about it. Okay, hopefully we get that one out of the way.
Okay.
But
All right.
glad to
All
be
right.
here. Shout out to the
Cool,
Brame
cool.
and J Dub, of course.
Hey, one thing since you mentioned college football, so you know with Call of Duty out, right? You know how it usually just takes over the number one spot
Yeah.
for like best selling game in the US, unless there's a Rockstar game out, and then Hogwarts, right? But college football is still the number one selling game in the US. That game, college football, might
Yeah.
end up being number one. That's crazy.
No, we've been waiting for it for 12 years. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been playing college football since probably 90. I don't know if it was. There used to be two. There used to be NCAA football.
Yeah.
Then there was the EA one.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember that.
I've been playing ever since. I think is it Danny Werfel? I mean, that's how long I've been playing this game. And of course, he's retired and has a seminary, I think now. But yeah, I've been playing it. I guess that's not. I mean, I played the one that had Charles Woodson on the cover.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's old.
That's how far back I
That's
go,
old.
and he's in the Hall
That's
of
old,
Fame.
Charles
you know,
Woodson.
So yeah,
Hell,
see
he's
Charles
just
Woodson.
old in the NFL in general, let alone college.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
all right.
but saw them
He
play
played for
live.
USC or did he play for Florida?
Nah, Michigan. Yeah, he was a Michigan. guy.
Michigan. That's right,
So,
Michigan. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was
All
kind
right.
of the Travis Taylor of my time, and
Okay.
so he but yeah, I've been playing it that long, and when it went away because of there was no NIL and all that kind of stuff because of the Northwestern lawsuit, it's been gone like 11 to 12 years, and so yeah, we were waiting on this, for years. Like a friend of mine said, last time he played college football, he was single and lived in an apartment. Now he's got a mortgage and he's on his second wife and has two kids. So that's how long this game's been gone. But it wouldn't shock me if it is the number one overall sold game in the United States. It's
Yeah,
it's
it
that
is.
big a deal.
Okay. All right. All right. J Dub, my brother, the antagonizer in chief. What's going on, my brother?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain. But like Craig said, happy holiday, happy holidays to everybody who celebrated and just been playing these games, man. Just been playing these games, enjoying gaming. Um, man, not much to say outside of I do miss the console war, man. Play a lot of something different, man. Jesus.
The
Man, I
antagonizer in
need
chief with nobody to
yeah.
antagonize.
No
Phil
more
Hey, I'm gonna
Spencer's
have to
doing
put
Phil Spencer's doing a better job crushing Xbox hearts than you.
Yeah.
facts.
He
Look,
killing them
man, I'm gonna
bots
have to
out
put,
here.
I'm
Oh
gonna have to
Oh,
pull
yeah,
a
shit.
Yoshi.
I
I'm
got
gonna
a
have to
from.
pull a Yoshida. I'm gonna
Yo,
have to say, you know, it's gonna be.
you're gonna have to play for Team Green just so that way you have somebody to
Mhm.
talk shit to. Cause
Well, even
Yeah.
If Yoshida's retiring, then yeah, it's
yeah.
over. It's done. So
Mm,
Amy Hood took over
okay.
Microsoft or Xbox. So I love
Well,
her,
my man
Amy the
said
Hood.
he said it
Yeah.
sucks out here. Ain't no console war. What the fuck is going hell's going on here? Oh
Right, man.
man, not like this.
Yeah.
Oh snap! You got your boy Drake out here suing people. My man
Oh
went
my
from
god.
gangster to like I'm suing. I'm calling the police.
How was he
Yeah,
gangster when he was talking
that's
about because you
crazy.
hold me down every
my
time I hit her up? There's nothing gangster about that.
my bad. I
He's
know
been a
he
simp
got the
for day for
lawyers.
day one.
Oh,
Yeah.
Kendrick whooped his ass so bad he had to break out the lawyers.
Yeah, it was
Mhm.
bad when he
He
did
said
that.
he messing with the algorithm.
Mhm.
Facts. He
Yo,
said,
not like this.
police,
Not like this.
police.
Oh, it was
Yeah,
Russian
it's crazy.
collusion.
Yeah, facts.
Oh snap! Oh snap! My man said, "I'm gonna break off the lawyers. It's collusion. It's collusion." All right,
Mhm.
it's good to hear from you, my brother. And then we got the judge, man. What's going on, my brother?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm gonna go into work tomorrow, so I can stay on a little bit longer.
Oh, you
Ooh,
lucky dog.
oh, hell yeah! You gonna play some games?
I could play some games. I could talk. Well, keep it PG-13. I can talk smack with y'all. Actually, what I want to do is hook up my PlayStation VR 2 at some point. Since I bought that, I caught it on sale again. Um,
Yeah,
It's
other
not.
than
It's not hard to hook up. It's one
It
cable.
wasn't hard to hook up.
yeah, it's just one cable.
Just one cable. The hardest part you can do is maybe the configuration when once you set it
mhm.
up, but it's
Yeah,
much easier
finding
than
figuring out
the
the hand.
PSVR one was a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
wasn't it
Oh
though?
my god, bro.
Yeah, this
Bruh.
I
sets up
remember
That
games
shit
that.
was a
that know
whole ass science project.
I remember
Yo,
that.
God.
yeah.
Oh,
That shit was crazy.
and actually, I'm actually thinking about buying the PC adapter for the PlayStation VR 2 just to see,
To put on your
Yeah,
PC.
you know,
that's
if
what I
it
got.
plays well. How is
How
it?
much does
How is
that
it, J Dub?
cost? I want to do that.
It's good. A lot of the features aren't available and stuff like that on PC, but at least you got the higher resolution and there's a couple other features, but the foveated rendering, the eye tracking, and some of the other stuff doesn't work on PC.
Oh,
Nah,
boo!
that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
That,
so
that thing
Mm.
was fun to hook up though, but it was scary because it knows exactly where you are in your house after you set it up. But I thought it
yeah.
was cool because you can actually. What I liked about it when I remember setting it up because I had to redo mine is looking through your hand. You can see through your body. You can see through your hand when you're setting things up. And it says, look at the floor. Do you see the what does it say? You see the PlayStation symbols on the floor. If you don't, make sure you can.
Mhm.
That's just weird how it's setting up. Weird. But yeah, hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. And to answer your question, Craig, I think the PC adapter is 60. At least the licensed ones from Sony is $60 because I see the other ones like
So
the
don't come
non.
with an adapter. It don't come with a
You
stand. And I gotta pay another
got to
$60.
pay another $60, man.
Oh, here we
Sony
go
is
with the
making coming.
stand. Does it come with a disc drive?
Yeah, no disc drive, no stand.
But that's pretty much it for me, man. Just I'm looking forward to playing playing some video games and and enjoying myself with the family and video games. That's about it.
Alright. Oh, nice. That's a good thing, man. Appreciate it. All right. So we're gonna get into topics. Once again, I truly appreciate the chat, everybody who's watching. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Everyone hit the like button. I put up a poll, which is gonna lead into the first topic. The poll is: do you want a new PlayStation handheld? So Bloomberg broke out, and this is not the first time we heard this conversation, right? I know JW even mentioned it about Project Q Lite and Project Q, and that Project Q was most likely referring to a native handheld. So that was always potentially thing, right? But now, as it gets closer and people start getting like these news outlets gets more definitive and they got more concrete. So it seems like Bloomberg really got good info, and that Sony is developing a new native handheld, apparently to play, being able to play PlayStation 5 games, and that it's a few years away, maybe a year, maybe like 2 years away or something like that, right? Um, So here's my first question. I'll start with Craig. Right. Here's my first question. Um, with we already seen handhelds already out in the loop. Right. We got Steam Deck. We got Asus Rogue. We got the Lenovo Legion Go.
Oh,
Right. We got that right. So I'm gonna focus on that market, right? Because I think Switch, and Nintendo Switch, which is still a handheld, but Nintendo is like the most dominant handheld. But what they don't do is what the market Steam Deck and Asus go after. Those AAA multi-plats across the board, right? Nintendo does have a few multi-plats right here and there, but if you really want all these multi-plat games and stuff like that, you're not gonna get the Switch, right? You're not gonna get the Switch to get the Cyberpunks and the Grand Theft Autos and the Call of Duties and all that stuff, right? Maybe things might change with the Switch too, but as of now, Switch is primarily a Nintendo powerhouse, Nintendo IPs, and then what exclusive Nintendo goes after and stuff like that, right? And that's been a successful formula. So in this realm, we're really talking about the realm of the Steam Deck, the realm of the Asus, right? What room is there for a PlayStation handheld? Like what can Sony do with a PlayStation handheld that an Asus Rogue or Steam Deck is not already doing, right? Is there something there that Sony can see massive success? What do you think, Craig?
Gonna
Are you
buy
muted,
it.
Craig? What?
No, I shouldn't
Okay,
be.
okay. Oh, now you're good.
You
Now
hear
you're
me
good.
now? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm over here recruiting in this college football game. What I mean, as far as the handheld market, I think I've accepted that Sony knows its audience better than me. And
Hmm.
you had people screaming that the Portal wasn't going to sell. Why are they doing this? And it's one of the better selling peripherals in for Sony. So as far as what it's going to do, it just literally, like, a friend of mine lives in Japan, and he said everybody over there has everything's handheld. There aren't a ton of
That's
tablets,
true.
but
Yeah.
he just says everything's handheld, and if the little kids have Nintendo, so Sony, he said, if they're going to do a handheld, it's going to probably target the teenagers, up to like 25, to yuppies over there. Because when they get 26, 27, that's when they're trying to settle down and have families. But yeah, in essence, I think it's okay for people to try to understand and take a step back and understand that the U.S. market may not be the major target for this platform. It may
Hmm.
be the Japanese to penetrate the Japanese market at a higher level because Nintendo does own that out of Japan. So this will at least in their minds, maybe they got information back saying that, yeah, this kind of puts us in the game, so to speak, no pun intended, instead of just with nothing. Because if you don't have nothing, nothing from nothing is nothing. So this at least puts them in the game. But I don't. When I hear people talking, everybody thinks that what Sony does in this case is specifically for these hardcore people, and it's not. It is not. There were people when the Pro came out. There were people arguing that the Pro was supposed to replace the base PS5. It is like, no, it's a complement. If you want to play at higher frame rates, at better fidelity, and things like that, then you get the Pro. If they don't care about that, that's fine. Same with handhelds. I'm not gonna play the handheld, but shout out to the people that will. And if that's something that you support, because I keep hearing people bitch about the Vita. Is that what it was called? I don't know if it's the PSP or the Vita.
It was the
It's
Vito.
oh
That was the second
yeah,
one.
okay, fine. Well, here comes something similar, and hopefully you guys go support it. A lot of people I know that have Vitas aren't going to buy this because they're like, I'm old. I'm going to do this for. So, but yeah, certainly hope Sony nails the market, and hopefully, like J Dub said, it does sound like they're doing it. But I'm just, I don't have a bone in the fight here. It's not for me. I certainly hope that they find their target audience.
Okay. All right. J Dub. So
yeah.
I did a video on this, right? And here's the thing. When I was
Hmm.
looking, just trying to find information on the market, it just seems like, at least outside of Nintendo, right? In their world, because
Hmm.
they completely dominant, right? Um,
Yeah.
but it seems like that AAA, the Asus ROG, Steam Deck, Lenovo, and whoever's in that specific group, it just doesn't seem like there's a lot of sales. Like the most I was able to find is analysts assuming Steam Deck is around 4 million, maybe 5. million, unit sales, and that thing's been out since February of 2022. That's over 2 years. It's almost 3 years because we're already in November, December, January, February. Steam Deck. So Steam Deck being out and maybe 5, maybe 6 million sales, and in any other metric, that would be a failure, right? Imagine if PlayStation 5 only sold 6, even 7 million consoles after 3 years, right? Or if the Switch only sold 10 million consoles after 3 years. That would be failure. Hell, a Switch with 15 million sales after 3 years, failure. It would be an absolute. It would be absolutely considered failure. PlayStation would be considered failure. Xbox considered failure, and that thing has like 25 million after like 3. You understand what I'm saying? So, is there a different metric for this AAA industry for these handhelds? Is like, are we gauging it wrong? Is it something different? Like let's say if PlayStation handheld releases and it sells like 10 million after 3 years, is that really a failure? Or like, what do you think?
Well, I think you're gonna have to look at it from a different lens. For one, it's not their only console like a Switch is, right? Switch is the only Nintendo console, and it docks to the TV and everything else. Assuming this console is going to cost more than a Switch, right? It's probably going to be in the realm of a ROG Ally and a Legion Go and a Steam Deck, somewhere between the $700 price range. The advantage that this device will have over the others is that you'll be able to play your PS5 games on it. The library is already there. Steam Deck, whatever PC offers is there. PC, for as many PCs out there in the wild, we got to realize gaming PCs is a lot smaller than what most people will. There's a lot of people think that everybody's out here with 4090s and 4080s and 4070s. That's just not the case. The majority of PC owners have those low rated Intel integrated graphics PCs that they use to multitask and do lightweight stuff. And they made it play games like The Sims and Solitaire and stuff like that, but they're not doing high-end gaming like we are. But I understand that doesn't play into the factor of fanboys and stuff like that. But if you remove those people out of the equation, the common sense would tell you that even from the PC side, when you look at NVIDIA and AMD sales for the high-end graphics, these guys average a few million. Because there's just not a lot of high-end gamers that's out there that's going to spend a shitload of money on a rig. I know in our little circle, it seems like a lot because people be posting that stuff, but our little circle in the Twitter bubble and the YouTube, all that shit is very small. But we're talking about the billions of people that, Microsoft, remember they said they wanted to target 2 billion gamers. Well, 2 billion gamers, but if only, call it 20, 30 million of them have high-end PCs or PC graphics cards, that is the average that's out there for us, that's competing with the consoles and stuff like that. It's a small number in the grand scheme of things. So you're going to sell this handheld to a targeted audience that, us hardcore, we may pick it up. Most likely we're going to pick it up. But will everybody outside of that, that's when the price come into the equation. We already know right now, because of the Xbox and because of the PlayStation and stuff like that, majority of gamers don't really gravitate that much to hardware until that price gets down to about the $300 price range. And it doesn't matter what kind of power it has. It doesn't matter what kind of games come out. That cost is going to be a factor for most casual gamers. So if they can come up with a nice price and you can play your PS5 game, your existing library, I think that'll work. Now, if they pull a Vita, right, or a PSP, where there's going to be these games that they make specifically for this handheld, you're going to end up in the same situation they did previously. Developers are just going to be like, you know what? It's not worth our time and effort. We're just going to keep making games for the consoles because that's where the bulk of the people are. But because of the PlayStation Portal, which Portal Rock, like you said earlier, I mentioned because the code name was Q Lite. So anytime they name something light, there has to be a full or a heavy or something like that, meaning a full version of something. So I think this Portal was testing the waters to see what gamers really would they really buy something of this magnitude. And we've seen to the dismay of a lot of people who talk shit about it, who said, who's asking for this? Who want it? No one wants that streaming trash. It's the number one selling accessory in the world, gaming accessory in the world. And that has to say for something, right?
Yeah.
So that means there's an appetite. I don't know how many they sold, right? Then Sony ain't released the number, so we don't know. But we can say that there's a healthy appetite for these handhelds. And I know Steam Deck, ROG Ally, all those stuff combined together made maybe 4 or 5 million. But look at the prices of those things. Those things started out at like $800, $700, $600, more than the console, right?
Yeah.
So
I was just looking at it right now. The Legion Gold,
Yeah.
$749.
Yeah,
And that's
Well,
with a discount.
Yeah, and the LIX is like at $799. Like, we just talked about that before. Nobody asked, who's asking for this, right? So, but I think we need to reframe from trying to do the whole. If this device doesn't sell as many copies as the console, then it's a flop. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Right, those days are over. I think didn't the PSP or the Vita some did like 80 something million
The PSP
copies. The PSP, right, 80 something million. Even back then, they called it a flop, right? Well, they would call it a flop because coming off of the PS2 that had sold 160 million copies, of course it would look like a flop.
My man
Right?
said 160. He got the updated numbers.
I got the updated numbers. You know I had to throw that out there, right? Yeah. We found a couple stashed in the warehouse somewhere. We're gonna use them numbers.
They sold a few. They sold a few more in Zimbabwe. They said, let's
It
get
would
them
count
sales.
Zimbabwe.
Oh man.
Yeah. So you have that, right? And then you have the Vita, which the price, I think the PSP when it came out was $199. I think, or $149. So I can't remember. It's been so long ago. Then the Vita came out. That shit was, $299. $299. That shit was the same price as a console. So that was going to be the limiting factor there. So prices always plays a factor. Let's say Nintendo Switch console comes out $500. That thing is going to be limited. It won't do the numbers that the regular Switch. That $299, like I said in the beginning, $300 is the magic price. It's always been that. It's always been, even with the PS2, even with it, that's that magic price where the kids can get it. People who are not really gamers but they're willing to invest can get it, and then of course the hardcore is going to get it. So you have to play to those three factors, and if you do $299, you'll sell a bazillion copies. Now, because it's PlayStation, you're gonna have people, oh my god, the graphics on this doesn't look the same as my PS5, right? Because they're expecting it to take a PS5, make it smaller, and shrink it into a little. But we know the constraints that come with that, right? The battery constraints, the power consumption, and so you're gonna have people complaining about that. But I think there's an appetite there. I don't think Nintendo and Sony or even Xbox is in the same arena. Nintendo do what they do. They make games specifically for their platform that's doesn't have voice acting, doesn't have online, doesn't have motion capture, doesn't have next generation graphics, and then they make cartoony games that play well on their platform, and that's just that, right? But PlayStation and Xbox, they're held to higher standard because they're the higher echelon of console game, right? Before all these fucking PC weirdos come out and start yelling about that. I'm talking about console gaming. Dare look to push the arena forward in graphics, sound, control, everything else. Nintendo isn't constrained. Nintendo just has to make the next Mario and Zelda, the next whatever subtitle game that they have. That's it. So they get to do what they do. But I know people are going to say, well, this PS Vita 2 or this PSP 2, it better sell. Nintendo's going to kill it. And it says, well, of course it is, because there's no way in the world Sony can make this at the same price as Nintendo would be able to make their product. Look with the regular Switch. That NVIDIA chip that's in there, that shit was already 15 years old, right? It was already outdated twice before Nintendo even came out with that. But it worked well for them for what they were trying to do. Sony they don't have that same luxury. Their fans and Xbox fans, these motherfuckers out here talking about full RDNA 4 and full RDNA 2. They care about the specs. They're into tech. They look for the latest and greatest. It better be ray tracing there. It better be pisser technology. All the stuff that Nintendo is shielded from because they don't even attempt to focus on that arena, right? They don't have to worry about 4K and all that stuff. They get to just do sub HD and keep on doing what they doing without those constraints. So I think there's an appetite there. I wouldn't expect them to go out. I would expect similar sales to what the PS5 Pro is going to sell. That's what I would think.
I would say so. That's going to be interesting because if this is going to play PS5 games, they were going to have some type of decent hardware in there, and it doesn't even have to be on PS5 level. Well, probably have to, or a close to it. But even then, it's still going to be expensive because they're miniaturizing it, right? So that's why I was looking at the Lenovo Go. That thing's $750 to do what?
Yes.
Because really, majority of the games are multi-plats, right? So it's the Alan Wakes, all that stuff. And if that's what it takes to run, like if you need a $500 handheld, I would say at least let's call it, the PS5 portable. Let's call it that, right? For lack of a better name, right? So for the PS5 portable, it's gonna be probably around at least $500-$600, but it's only gonna probably do 1080p, obviously. Obviously the graphics gonna be toned down, shadows, effects, all the settings, but it is on a small screen, to be fair, right? And stuff like that. But that's gonna be interesting. But I'm glad you did make a good point, because if these handhelds come out expensive, high heavy, you're right. It's not gonna sell a lot, right? Who wants to invest? How big of an audience is going to invest $500-$700 into a handheld, right?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying is that
that's a
it
good
may not.
thing.
It's not for U.S. mainland. I believe they're trying to penetrate Japan.
Kept
And I
Japan
think
back.
that's their first rule of business. So I agree with the price, but even if they make it, I don't know, let's just say it's 720p, they're just trying to get people into the ecosystem. And I agree with price. I agree 100% with the price, but that is more or less what a westernized standard. Over there, it's just about they got to get into that market. Nintendo runs Japan. They are they're the Don
Absolutely.
Corleone, okay, of
Yeah.
Japan. So if Sony wants to penetrate that, they're gonna have to come out with a competitive one. It may not be as good. I agree with J-Dub that it may not play PS5 games. It may just play what if it plays PS3 games? I mean, I don't know, or PS2 games and PS4 games. So, in Japan, that's a bigger deal. But I get it. I totally understand. Whereas in the United States, the portable or the portal is bigger. Like I didn't realize how big it was. So I saw somebody do it on the 30th anniversary, and I actually got to see how big that thing was. And it's like it's a good size screen. And you're looking at smaller screens. J Dub saying like the graphics won't be as good. The sound may be so. I mean, we don't know. And but I just think just me personally. The way I'm looking at it is, well, hey, look, they are trying to penetrate a different market than the American market, where they run the American market. Sony does with their console.
So I can see that. I can see this. Just again, PS5 portable. Like you said, being a huge advantage in Japan because it's more primarily mobile, right? So you could see improved PS5 game sales via the portable vice the console in Japan, obviously, right? Obviously, outside of Japan, the console is going to be the preferred platform for PlayStation stuff, right? But I could also see users that don't want the PS5, but they'll jump at the PS5 portable, right? Because it's on the go. The only question is, how will Sony be able to make it appealing versus options are already there, like Asus and Steam Deck and the Legion Go.
Well,
So that's
even
gonna
their
be
portal
interesting.
even their portal that they have now, because of the latest update, has it where all you need to do is subscribe to PlayStation Plus, and you get to play games without having a PS5. And I think
Premium.
they're testing the waters in Japan and stuff like
Yeah.
that
Mm.
to see, hey, is this an audience pickup from there? Because a lot of those guys just won't buy a PlayStation or Xbox because space. A lot of people don't realize in Japan things are small, right? They
Yeah.
don't have pickup
Well,
trucks and big things there.
Yeah.
Everything is slim, small, and miniaturized. This is why a cell phone or a small handheld plays and a factor of like 90 some percent of what they do over there,
Mm.
outside of the PC stuff. So yeah.
and look at if anybody, and this anybody can do this, go on YouTube and just pull up something like Japan in 4K or something like that, and just watch. It'll be like 10-15 minute videos. You will literally see. First things first, it's extremely bright over there because everything over there is LED, and so everything's going to be super bright. And then look at what they're doing, and the vast majority of them are looking down at their phones. And then the person doing the video will all pass markets, and they're all playing games. So like I said before, I truly believe that it's to mostly penetrate the Japanese market because they got to get in there with something. I mean, they just even if they only get 12%, 12% is still better than zero. So I just think that I think it would just be more Japanese focused. You'll get, games like Gravity Rush. I know that's still popular in Japan.
Is it?
You'll get games like that, single player games.
I know
that
that's
can be
Extreme's
streamed.
favorite game.
Oh, okay, fair. Yeah, I'm just saying. Well,
That shit had
it was
him
a
out there
solid game.
breakdancing. That's
I
how
saw
amazing
that.
that game.
Extreme got
I had to put up that
going.
thumbnail, bro. That's
So yeah, and we all it's all in jokes.
okay.
Sure,
Okay.
Extreme thought it was crazy.
Let me go to the
But
judge. So,
yeah, go ahead.
all right, hey judge.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let me ask you: are you into handheld gaming in general? Like, is this something that's interesting you? Is this interesting to you? Sony potentially getting back into handheld, making a native handheld that could play PS5, and of course, if it plays PS5, PS4, it's gonna play everything but PS3. PS3 is gonna be like the new benchmark. Like the day Sony creates a console, probably the PlayStation 8, that can finally natively play PS3 games. But for the most part, is this something that's interesting to you? Have you ever delve into handheld gaming?
You know what's crazy? I got a PlayStation Portal, and this would be
Uh,
the first handheld I ever bought in my whole entire life because of I'm listening to everybody's points, but I always saw going back to the Game Boy and the Game Gear days that handheld gaming was to do two things. Number one, of course, play gaming on the go, and then secondly, it is a derivative device to the main console. So if you got your regular Nintendo, you got a Game Boy. If you got a Sega Genesis, you got a Game Gear.
hmm.
Going to modern times, you got the PlayStation 2, you got the PSP. If you got a PlayStation 3 or 4, you got a Vita. But my point is that at no point in time, before the PlayStation Portal came out, and even to the Switch, where I'll get to in a little bit, that the handheld market or any of the handheld systems that are named was ever supposed to take the place of the actual console. It was
Hmm.
good
It was
example.
his own
If
thing.
anybody, yeah, if anybody remembers, Super Nintendo is a good example. Mario World. Super Nintendo had Mario World. On the Game Boy, you had Mario Land. The two weren't
Yeah.
comparable,
Yeah,
right? So
that's
so
true.
that's
That's
the
true.
way I always looked at handhelds. Now with Nintendo, I think and primarily third party developers to uh to want to create games for a handheld just because the market was just so the potential of people that can get access to your games is just so great on the Nintendo Switch because of the fact that hey, within the first 5 years, it's over 100 million consoles already. I mean, that's 100 million more people that can have access to a game that they normally wouldn't have access to. Um, where else was? I remember. So as far as with the Portal and the Asus Rogue and any other computer handhelds, um I see the purpose of it, and that's just to do PC game, like full PC gaming, on the go. At the end of the day, to me, an Asus ROG or a Steam Deck, to me, I look at them as computers, or yeah, I just look at them as handheld computers. Whereas I still get the full computer experience without any real compromises, except when it comes down to maybe resolution and battery life. But that's always the purpose of handhelds. If Sony is to make another handheld, me personally, I'm thinking about it. I don't see the market for it at all. I understand what Craig was saying as far as the Japan, and I get it because Japan, handhelds are king over there. But as far as the Sony, it's like, okay, so if you're going to create a new Sony handheld, number one, how, what does that mean for the portal? Meaning, is it going to cannibalize sales? And then secondly, well, if this is going to be another handheld that can play full PlayStation 5 games or not have its own derivative or alternative games to the PlayStation 5, then will it cannibalize sales into the PlayStation 5 as well? Like, to me, I don't know, or at least without enough information, what good it's going to do, as opposed to, is it redundant, or will it cannibalize?
Mm, that's a good question. Those are good points. I would say a couple of things. I like how you mentioned the Switch because in my opinion, I think Switch kind of redefined the handheld industry. What I mean by that is, originally, the handheld was exactly what you described. You had your handheld component of a company and then the console component, but they were not the same, right? Sony tried to, with the PSP, still have a handheld component, but with the fidelity or like the graphics of like console, right? Like a portable console. And I remember Sony got bashed, especially from the Nintendo guys, because I think it was the DS that was out, and DS was also slaughtering it, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want my console. I don't want my handheld to be just another console, because if it was a console, then I'll just play on the console. I want my handheld with exclusives and unique games and unique stuff. Handheld gaming, not console gaming. Because if you're just gonna put console games on a handheld, then I'll just stick to console. I remember all that stuff, right? But then with the Switch, it completely spun everything different now, right? Now you got this hybrid. That's the term they use, right? When it ain't no goddamn hybrid. It's a fucking handheld that you just plug into your TV. That's it, right? When you look
Yep.
at, a company that has a console and a handheld, and JW, you alluded to this, right?
Mhm.
You could run into the situation where developers don't want to make games for your handheld. They rather just make it for the console that has a bigger audience. But if you make that handheld that can play the console games, then it's like, oh, okay, it's naturally going to support that handheld because it plays the PS5 games anyway, right? So that seemed like the smarter strategy now, right? Make handhelds that can play console games. By right of making a console game, you're making it for the handheld up to a certain point, right? And obviously there'll be some limitations, right? Some games may not be certified for a handheld or whatever, or may not run well, but for the most part, you don't run into that obstacle where you're making a developer choose, all right, do I make it for the PS5 handheld, or do I make a game for the PS5, which already has like 70 million people or whatever in counting, right? So that eliminates that, right? I like Craig's point of Japan. Believe it or not, Japan is Sony's weakest link, believe it or not. The console sells decent, but not the numbers of the PS1 and PS2 days. Those days are far gone with Japan's attitude, or not attitude, maybe that's the wrong word. With just a Japan adopting the lifestyle of the mobile gamer, the handheld gamer. That's their primary platform, right? Into the construct. So dedicated consoles, not so much anymore. So a PS5 Pro and PS5 Portable could put Sony back into Japan, get that bigger fan base. Where I think that's where that's one area where you can see one product cannibalize the other, where PS5 Portable can start outselling PS5, but that's only because of the region, right?
Mhm.
I don't see a person interested in the console saying, you know what, now that you have the portable, I don't need to buy the console. Because again, console is the premier experience for the console gamer. You put on your nice TV. You get the 4K resolution. You get all the bells and whistles. You're not really gonna get that from a handheld. Handheld, 1080p in the graphical settings on a tiny screen. It looks good because it's a tiny screen, but it's not gonna look good on the big screen. So I think
It's a
consoles are safe.
temporary way to play. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
temporary way to play.
So I think I
It's
think the consoles are
supplement.
safe.
It's a
It's
convenience
supplementary.
way to play.
It's gonna be supplementary for many people.
Yeah,
But
just
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
but Judge did make a good point. Will this cannibalize Portal sales? Because the two, I mean, and I'll ask Extreme. I'll ask you this question: Can the Portal survive in a world of PS5 portable?
Hopefully not.
All right, go ahead. Please expound.
Yo, listen. Yo, I'm gonna make this very simple for the people because I feel like, we go around the conversation, but it's like we don't say the heart of the matter. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. There's going to be 3 potential handhelds. Okay, the first one you already have at $200. You already have the streaming only PlayStation Portal, right? That's what it is. It's a streaming handheld. You can do whatever you want, but you can't get away with that. You can stream it from the cloud or you can stream it from your PlayStation, but it's streaming only. Then number 2 is what I would call the PlayStation Portal Pro. It is exactly what the Portal is, and it is primarily a streaming device, but it has a stronger chip on board to play a select library of titles. Things like Dave the Diver, things like Hades, things that are basically, indie-like experiences, maybe even like a Kenna Bridge of Spirits. It will aim for 1080p 60, but they will make sure that those titles can run on that chip at that spec. And it will use PSSI and whatever it needs to do in order to, make everything work. But basically, it's a little bit stronger than the Portal, but you don't play the entire library. If you want to play a God of War, you still have to default back to the console, or you have to stream from the console or from the cloud or whatever you want. But basically, it has some native capability. They'll probably get you like 1,000 games in there that you can try because there's lots of games. I just played Cat
Maybe
Quest the
how
other
about
day.
PS4 games? You think it could do?
Yeah,
PS4
PS4 games. It might be able to do some PS4 games, but they probably won't do it like a Horizon for Zero Dawn either. Like they're just gonna be like, hey, you know what? There's a library of like 2,000 games that you can play, and we vetted all of these things, just like Steam Deck verified. Like it's not a foreign concept, okay? But you're gonna get a limited library, and if you try to download something that it's not gonna do, it's just gonna tell you, I'm not gonna do this. It's not even gonna allow you to download and try playing these games at 10 frames per second because developers will hate that. If people can download it to the machine anyway, they have a horrible experience of the game, and then they think that it's the game's fault. So Sony will protect that curated library, and that's what it is. Okay, that will cost you $500, $400 to $500. Okay, just swallow it. I don't want to hear, oh my god, that's too much. Shut the fuck up. That's what it's gonna cost. Okay, then the PlayStation Portable, like this would be a full-on, fully vetted, almost as powerful, maybe at the minimum 90% of the power of the PS5, the base PS5, right? This is the full-on portable where you will be able to play every single game from the library. You can still stream from the cloud if you want to. It will still be 1080p 60, but really you're getting full native play in there. It's going to have an expandable hard drive just like the PS5. Basically, just imagine your PS5, right? But miniaturized and in your hands. But basically, aside from a few power draw things, because the battery can never provide the full power of, an actual plug-in connection, it's going to be as close to a native console as possible. Okay, this will cost you $1,000. Shut the fuck up about the price. That's what it's gonna cost. Okay, do you know how I know it's going to cost that? Because the ROG Ally X costs $900, and no one bats an eye at that. And that's what that's trying to do. It's trying to be a full-on PC, isn't it? So now you're trying to make a full-on console. That's what it's going to cost. Because the cost to miniaturize a PlayStation 5, you're going to pay through the nose for it. So now you have what the strategy should be. Okay? What do you think Sony is going to look at and be like, are people going to pay for $1,000 handheld because you have miniaturized? And probably not. That's why I've always said since the very beginning, I've always said the $400 to $500 version in the middle is the best version. It's the best compromise between the two. You have some games that can get you from point A to point B, but then at either of those points, if you want to play like your big major console title, you want to play your Black Myth, you are still going to be streaming that thing. Because listen, this fantasy that people have, where they're saying, oh my god, they're all going to miniaturize the PlayStation 5, or if they do the PlayStation 6 generation, then it's only going to cost $400. Are you fucking out of your mind? Just look at the PC handhelds. You don't have to pretend like these are not products that we're just coming up. Look at the PC handhelds and look how much they cost. Like the cheapest ones are like $700. That's what it costs to order to have something powerful in a handheld form factor. Now, the only thing that could give you some grace is that most PC handhelds cannot be subsidized by the company because they only sell you the hardware. The only people that can subsidize hardware for you, there are four companies. There's Xbox, there's PlayStation, there's Nintendo, and then there is Valve, right? Those are the only four that have an ecosystem that can back up the hardware so that there is a subsidy on the hardware and basically you get it for cheaper than you should. But essentially, here is this. If Sony wanted to make the PlayStation 5 portable, make money day one, you're going to pay $1,000. If they want to soften the blow for you, they're probably going to drop it down up to like $750, and that will be with them taking a loss on the hardware, trusting that they're going to make that money back on the software again. Okay. Now, out of the four people that can subsidize your devices, you know that Nintendo isn't subsidizing your handheld. You know, that's what they do. Xbox probably shouldn't subsidize their hardware either. Let's face it, the hardware division already loses enough money, you know, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. But it's essentially, those are the price points. You already have the $200 one out. You can go for the middle lane, or I mean, Sony can put forward the middle lane. That's going to be $400 to $500. But stop deluding yourselves into thinking that the highest end version, the one that's basically a miniature PS5, is going to somehow cost you anything below $600. Like, just forget that. Just like I told you with the PlayStation 5 Pro, forget about those prices. Forget about that. Now, if you think that's too much and you don't want to pay for it, therein lies the dilemma.
Yeah, so I'm looking right now. So I know you're probably looking at Australian prices. So here in America, basic Asus Rogue with just a regular Z1 processor, normally priced at $500.
No, look at the Ally X.
Yeah,
because that's the newest version.
The more hyper. Yeah, so like the extreme processor one is $650 normally.
But is that the Ally X? Because you're still not having the right price.
This is the Ally 7. This is Ally 7-inch.
No. Look at the Ally X. We want to go the latest technology because that's the one that's the most powerful. That's the one that's going to be the most comparable to the PS5.
Oh yeah, you know. So, but I'm wondering, even though this is so, here's the thing. So even if this is not comparable to the PS5, this one does still play AAA games. So it will play like.
But it doesn't hit them at 1080p. It doesn't even do 1080p.
It
does
800p.
No, 800p it's 800. Most of them are 800p.
Well, they said the screen. The screen is 1080p.
Okay, fair enough.
The screen, I don't know. You're right. The actual result of the game. Yeah, who knows? You know, who knows the bench performance? You know, we have to look at Digital Foundry. But I do get you're not gonna get a game running at 1080p 60 for $400-$300. A PS5
It's not gonna happen.
You're not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Not a native. PS5.
Not even next generation. Because
like
people think that's magic.
At 1080p 60, it's not gonna run on a $300-$400 handheld.
And I mean, if you look at the nanometer, like, you know, because people think, manufacturing processes is going to get better. Like the jump between the PS4 and the PS5, I think the PS4 started at something like 9 nanometer and the PS5 starts at like 5. Because it's like, you know, there's lots of things that happen. Now the PS5 Pro apparently is like 4. Like, because these are nanometers. How far do you think they're going to go? Do you think they're going to go down to like 0.1 nanometers? Like, what do you think is going to happen next generation? That there's going to be this massive leap.
They're going to go into,
you know, exactly. So we're just going to drop all the way down. You know, 100 picometers, because that's basically what we're going to do. Listen, there is a limit to these things. Now, there could be a huge, like, you know, revolutionary, you know, thing that happens in the meantime. Like, take a look at the M1 chips from Apple. You know, like their leap in performance between the M1 chips and the Intel chips that we're using before is a generational shift. So if we get lucky and that's what happens, then yeah, maybe, but don't count on it. Like what is it? Be happily surprised if I turn out to be wrong. And then you basically are getting a PlayStation 5 portable at like a $600 price point. Just be happily surprised that it happened and know that you've been subsidized because the PlayStation ecosystem can afford to take the hit on subsidies.
Nah.
But
Do you think
yeah,
they
go ahead.
will? I don't think they're gonna subsidize the handheld. I don't think they're gonna do it.
I think they
You
would
think?
because if they were to create a PlayStation 5 portable, they will be targeting at those markets that you guys were talking about before, Japan
Japan?
and everything like that. So they will have to subsidize it because basically this will be a replacement for the PlayStation console in those markets.
Would it be a Target subsidized? Like maybe Japan they subsidize it, but in America, nah,
Yeah,
you have to pay
maybe.
full
Yeah,
price. It could be
maybe. Yeah,
targeted,
maybe actually.
right?
Yeah.
Like if they really, like
They
if they
could, they
really
could
want to
make that.
establish,
Yeah.
yeah, if they want to establish
Yeah,
a
they can make
market
it
in certain
happen.
regions, they'll subsidize
Yeah.
there. But the rest of the
Exactly, like
world,
India, Japan, and everything. Rest of you
Korea
guys that are
maybe,
going to be
China, it's
console,
depending, yeah,
exactly, console centric anyway. You guys are going to pay. So you're
because
paying
you're constant
$1,000.
anyway.
Just accept it, okay? Again, just
He
accept it.
says,
Like
just pay $1,000.
when I said that about PlayStation 5 Pro, you're going to pay $800 for it. People were like, "Oh no, it's too much." Like, shut the fuck up. You guys don't know this shit. I'm here to tell you, okay? If you get anything less than 1,000, Sony has helped you out. Just accept it. Just accept it because people will be like, "Oh, why don't they just make it cheaper?" It is cheaper. Like again, go take a look at all of the PC handhelds. None of them perform anything near the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, they don't.
You are saying you want a PlayStation 5 miniaturized.
Yeah,
That's what it's gonna cost.
yeah.
Stop lying to yourselves. People are
good
like,
point.
"Oh my god, the ROG Ally X, it
They have-
performs well." No,
they
it
have to
doesn't.
accept-
Not at
they
a
have to
PS5
yeah.
level.
They have to accept
Agreed.
this.
I mean, I'm tired of
They have to
people-
like. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just
was
gonna
just-
say they have to accept like a 70% of the PS5 or 60% of the PS5. They can't expect 100%.
Yeah, they
and
want
think you only because the
it's
console's
right.
still
I agree.
450. So imagine miniaturizing the Slim down to a screen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be 450. It's
And then you
Yeah,
add
but
you
that's
add the
the
screen, you
thing.
add the
What do you do with
built-in DualSense. You have to take care of like things like if people
battery
return it, like
life.
RMH and everything, the battery life. You have to think about. You still have to have the expansion bay because these games, like if you install
Yeah.
Call of Duty on this thing, it's still gonna need an external hard drive.
You need the
Like, you're
actual-
still
you
not
need-
gonna.
Yeah,
You
then
know,
turn
so
up-
it's like-
yeah. Right.
Yeah, I know. I agree that people wanting this stuff, and then they're going to complain that it's not what it's only umpteen percentage of what a PlayStation can do, and so therefore it's going to be this price. The price will be the price, and you all have got to get your money up. And if you're broke, just say you're broke. I don't know what else to say
If
about
you're not
this
a
anymore.
passport, bro, just say it. All right.
Just say you ain't got no money, and it's
Alright.
okay. I don't have enough money to get the G2 TV. I ain't getting it. I'm poor.
Right.
I ain't gonna buy it.
Yo, that is
I'm
actually a good
He-
point because
he
when we
said,
talk
"I'm
about
poor."
$5,000 TVs, like people don't bat an eye. They're just like,
Yeah.
that's an option in the market.
Because they ignore
But-
it, and that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like if it's expensive, just ignore it.
Yeah, you just move forward. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And again, I just hate the way that the conversation is where people again have these magical notions about the pricing. Like Sony is not allowed to like make money on the products. I'm like, bro, like if you don't want it, if you're like, you know what, I don't want to pay for $1,000 handheld because it can be stolen from me, someone can snatch it, someone can break it, and then suddenly I'm out of $1,000, then say you don't want that option. Communicate it clearly so that the people that Sony don't bother, and then they give you something like a hybrid instead, which I think is a lot more. I think it will penetrate the market a lot better if they just let go of the fantasy of putting a PS5 in your hand. They just give you something that's a little bit better than the Portal, but it's going to have limitations and compromises, and therefore you don't have to pay the full $1,000 price. You can pay $400 to $500, and then that will be it. But you guys just keep asking for the world, but then you want to like
Don't
pay
want to pay
dirt
for
cheap
it.
for
They
it.
don't want to pay
Bro.
for it.
Beer
Boy.
budgets. You got
Y'all
champagne
want first
taste on a beer
class, but in
budget.
coach with coach tickets, coach
Yeah.
price.
But they have beer budgets, but they want champagne.
Yeah,
It's not gonna
Exactly.
happen.
That's it.
It's not gonna happen. Just take the beer, have a couple beers, and be done. with it.
I want to continue the conversation, but let me hit up the super chats, right? Let me hit up the audience. Very active. We'll start off with Charles Hawk. He says, "Do you know of any spots to get a chopped cheese in Cali? My son is playing Spider-Man 2 and wants to try one. Bro, you can't even get good pizza, let alone chopped cheese. You're gonna have to take a trip to New York, bro. He better hey, give him a street taco, because that's what you get in Cali. Get a burrito, they're delicious, but you're not getting no chopped cheese out here. Yeah, I can't even recommend pizza. So, but I'm glad your sons enjoy Spider-Man 2, but the fact that your son's like, yo, I want some chopped cheese. Looks like you're taking that trip. Go to New York. Oh, man. Glassdoor Gamer, thank you for the super chat. Glassdoor says, Xbox using Steam sales charts, PC gamers acting high and mighty, PlayStation trying to compete with Nintendo and Microsoft going back to their PC roots. The 90s are back. I would say with that, at least, well, the console of the 90s ain't back. Like J-Dub said in the beginning, it's over, right? He wishes the console was back, but Microsoft's not
J-Dub's like
participating
those
in that.
people on Star Trek, the undiscovered country, those generals that was like, oh, we're going to start a war.
He needs to start shit with somebody. He's like, I'm going to leave with something. He like Denzel Washington. I'm going to leave with something. He's like, but who knows? Who knows if there's this handheld war? I'm not so sure about that, but we'll see how it is. Thank you for the super chat. We got Liquid Data. Thank you for the super chat. Liquid said, almost jumped. I jumped the chain here. Hold on, give me a second. What's going on here? All right, back. All right, Liquid said, I think with PS6, it's going to be a home console, right? And a handheld. I agree with J-Dub about Q Heavy. I pray to God it's not. Hell no. Like pretty much the Switch. Hell to the no. I hope not. I hope Sony don't make a hybrid. Like, because the reality is, in my opinion, a hybrid is going to be pretty much down to its lowest common denominator, which is the handheld. Because like you said, trying to make a powerful PlayStation 6 into a handheld that's going to cost like $2,000.
Yep.
That ain't going to work. Hell no. Leave that shit alone. Make a dedicated handheld. And I'm going to be honest. If they do make this handheld, right, and it's to play PS5 games, when the PS6 comes out, hey, you can only play PS6 games through streaming. You cannot play unless it's like indies, right? Like Dave the Diver 2. All right, got it. Indies, but actual PS6 games, don't do it. Don't try to force it, right? Because then we'll be in our own Xbox Series S dilemma, where you're trying to fit games. Nah,
Yep.
no. Sony got to be smart on that one. Don't try to force things that don't fit, because I'm pretty sure, and you know what? That's gonna be my question. One of the questions I'm asking. But man, I hope Liquidator, you're wrong, my brother. We don't need that drama in our life. We need a good quality PS6 console. That's a console, and that's all it is. SNK Forever with the super chat. Thank you so much. Says, what up, P-Rock and crew? Just want to give everybody a heads up. Best Buy PSVR 2 is $200 off this week, and I'm looking forward to PS new handhelds. So for those of you who have not got a PSVR 2 and are interested, look out for that deal in Best Buy. That sounds fantastic. Liquidator back again. He says it's going to be called PPP, PlayStation Portal Pro. Give me my flowers when it happens. Absolutely. Maybe you could even put P3 squared or some shit. P3 or whatever. PlayStation Portal Pro.
P cubed.
P cubed. There you go. That's actually a cool name. PlayStation Portal Pro. Okay. Jimmy Harrison, thank you for the super chat. He out here and he says, always good to see you, brothers. Much love. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you're here and rocking out with us. Okay, here we go. We also got, hold on. And a lot of super chats going in. Okay, we got Donnell Brown with a super chat. Thank you so much, my brother. Okay, wait a minute. What is going on with Chrome? Chrome is
Use
tripping.
Chrome?
Yeah.
I'm a Firefox guy. Shout out to all the people using Firefox in the chat. Everyone who has Firefox knows we're better out here.
Oh, here we go. All
we
right.
know we're better out here.
Here you go. Now, what is this? Goddamn browser wars now?
Hey man, they never stopped. Ever since Netscape. Ever since Netscape,
wow,
we never stopped. We never stopped, bro.
All right. Okay. So Donnell Brown, he says, you just had this talk with B Money about the PS5 handheld on Mucha's show. It is supposed to come out right next to the PS6. So this thing is years away. Interesting point. You know, if the PS5 Pro Portable, let's call it PS5 Portable, whatever. What if it's a launch with the PS6, but it's designed to play PS5? So pretty much you're extending the PS5 lifeline without needing the PS5 console. I don't know. It's
So
interesting.
I think that
I
would
don't
be a
know. I'll
huge
be honest. I
mistake.
don't know. You think it's a
You know
mistake?
why? Because
Go ahead.
I think that's confusing. Because then the people in the, especially the handheld markets, right? The Koreas, the Japans, and everything, they're going to see the PlayStation 6 out, and they're going to see this thing launch alongside it, and they're going to automatically think, since it's a native console, or you play the PlayStation 6 games. You know, people will be like, wait, but then it's a generation behind. Like that doesn't make any sense.
So
You get
new
what I mean?
product that's behind.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Because then they'll see the two side by side. Like you look at the portal now, and everything is like the design, everything screams this is a PlayStation 5 generation. None of it looks like a PlayStation 4 generation hardware. Does that make sense? Like, aside from the 30th anniversary edition, the PlayStation 5 generation has had pretty consistent visual language. So what are you going to do? You're going to launch a PlayStation 6 with its own design and its own design language, and then you're going to create a PlayStation Portal Pro that's actually a mini PS5 with the PS5 design language? Or are you going to tie it in with the new generation, but then people will then have to be like, oh wait, I'm actually one generation behind? That's just confusing. Like, again, I'm just like, it's just silly. Don't do it. If you're going to play your Portal Pro in the next generation, still do the thing that I say where you're going to play select games.
okay. All right. Brandon Holiday style. Thank you for the super chat. Says celebrating my 40th birthday, chugging a 40 ounce. My man reliving the 90s. That's what's up. Playing my pro, watching this basketball, college football game, and enjoying one of my favorite podcasts. Yo, shout out to Brandon. Happy 40th birthday. My man got the St. Ides. Oh, shit. Oh, that's what's up. Happy birthday to you, my brother, man. Welcome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You're living the good life. And of course, we got Donnell Brown. Both our football teams are trash, man. Shaking my head. Man, why you got to bring that up, man? We ain't got to bring that up. Hey, we fighting for them picks, though. We tanking. And then, of course, we got Blue Jay with the super chat. Thank you, my brother. He says, Xbox Gaming here. Love this podcast, hermano. Let's fucking go. LFG. Thank you so much for rocking out. I hope I've been useful to you guys. So here's my question, right? Damn, I think, man, so many points I came up. What? All right, here we go. We can all admit this, and everybody in the chat. PlayStation does get held to a different standard. When a game sells 1 million on PlayStation only, it flopped. But when another game sells 1 million across Xbox, PlayStation, PC, Switch, handhelds, and phones, it's absolute success. So can we all agree on that? That there is a difference. Like
Yeah.
PlayStation will have its own different standards set by people for success. It's not going to be. They're not going to hold PlayStation PS5 Portal or Portable to the Aces Rogue standard. They're not even going to hold it to Steam Deck standard. They're not. It's going to be higher. So now here's my question. I'll start with J-Dub. Do you think people will demand that this portable have exclusives? And if it doesn't have exclusives, do you think it's going to get bashed? Meaning, what's the point if this has no exclusives?
Yeah, I mean they do it now. They do it with the portal. They do it with the controllers. They do it with anything PlayStation done. You see the guys on Twitter every day talking about PlayStation has no games. I mean, those people are they're damaged beyond repair, right? Most of those are just Xbox guys or salty PC guys for whatever reason. But those are the guys that don't matter, right? It don't matter. You can't convince them of anything. Now Sony has to convince us because we're the ones that's going to go out and buy this stuff day one. They also have to convince the people who are going to pony up a lot of money for this stuff. So yeah, I think Sony should just ignore the people who this is not targeted for. You know, Xbox. There's none. Sony could give this away for free. They will still have something to complain about, right? So I don't think the purpose going forward with whether it's Xbox put out a console or PlayStation put out a console is to focus on having exclusive titles for the platform itself. The goal, right, is to, I think, should just be to play the existing titles that it has in this library on that, because nobody's going to sit around and wait years for developers to make games for two fucking platforms of the, like, for example, back in the day, we had a PlayStation 3, we had the Vita, and we're sitting around waiting for games to come to the Vita or be in port or whatever. And then the same thing for the PS3. People don't have time for that. Games cost too much, it's too expensive. Give people a handheld where they can play their existing library that'll go forward with them. Everything else, it's there. And I'll be honest, as a day one PlayStation Portal guy, I saw the vision. It worked well. It gets better every fucking month. All their updates, and now we can do it from the cloud without even needing your PlayStation 5. I think the future is going to go with something like that. I honestly think that Portal is there. What they're going to do native, that's going to, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I want to see what kind of experience would I get on a native than non-native, because I know the latency and stuff like that. Doesn't really bother me much. I don't know. I'm not an esports player, right? I don't play at 360 frames or hertz and 500 hertz and stuff like that. So I wouldn't see the difference for me. Um, it works for me. The regular portal work for me. If they can continue that and some kind of way make it native, I'll be honest, I don't see what's going to be the difference between a native device and the PlayStation Portal that we have now, because it's literally close to 1-to-1, if not already 1-to-1 in most environments that have decent Wi-Fi. Not even internet, but just Wi-Fi. So
No.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, Portal Rock. If I got a Portal, I'm playing my cloud games. I'm playing my PS5 games when I travel for what I do, even if it was native,
With
right?
no
That means
limitations,
all
right? Your portal has no limitations. Your
no
current
no
portal, right?
limitations.
Other
I get
than
all my ray.
the connectivity.
Yeah, I got all my ray tracing games, all my all this stuff. My whole library is there. Whatever's on my PS5 is there. Now, if you go to a native device, then that's not the case. I'm gonna have to download. So now we have to talk about storage. How much storage is this thing gonna have? Is it fucking 8 terabytes in my damn PS5? Well, clearly this is gonna. I'm only gonna be able to take so many games with me. So you're gonna get people to complain about that. Then you got the visual fidelity. Well, this probably just, there probably won't be performance mode anymore. It'll just probably be quality mode, or the 30 frames may be there, right? Then it's like, then people are gonna complain about that, oh, it's 30 frames, or you motherfuckers is gonna complain about whatever. Then battery. Oh man, my portal lasts 5, 6, 7 hours. Now this device here only lasts 2 hours. Dude, you see all the complaints, all the people that fucking just did with the PS5 Pro, right? Even though they went out day one and bought one, like the Destin Lagares and all that, even though they did that, right? But look at the work that they did to try to persuade you not to buy a Pro. They're going to work overtime with this native handheld. Then they're going to say, well, I got the Portal. What's the sense of having a native handheld? Why are you going to charge me $500-600? And just spend 200. And this is what Sony and Microsoft, right, is going to have to go against. They're going to have to deal with this.
Yeah, add to the fact they'll say I could get a ROG and it has Game Pass and PlayStation games are going to come anyway.
Yeah, I can get the first generation Steam Deck and it ain't over $400 now, and I get to play all my PlayStation. They say that goofy shit, right? Yeah, but what does PlayStation do better than any of those things do? Right? It's ultimately at the end of the day, all of this hardware means nothing without the games, and PlayStation got the games. So I think that's their biggest thing is saying, hey, you got 100% of our games now going portable, but they're going to have to distinguish it from the portal. How do you dissuade me from setting my portal down and going out and spending $500, $600, $700 on this other device
Hmm.
with all of these things that I named going against you? I don't know. I have
Hmm.
no idea. And even if you like Extreme said, right? Well, what if you have the portal, but it has the native capability to play some of the like lighter titles like Dave the Divers? I'm not spending any fucking $500, $600 to play Dave the Diver. I'm gonna spend that to play my fucking God of Wars and Spider-Man, and it better have fucking ray tracing, and it better have 60 frames, and it better have all this other shit that my pro. I'm telling you, like that's
I
a
know.
hard sell
It's
for me,
that's
brother.
you know, it's an interesting situation, right? Now I'm looking at it. I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
and what's confusing is it's not like these
Mhm.
handhelds are breakout sellers except for the Switch, and that's where it's gonna get tough because
Yeah,
apparently Switch might get revealed or officially announced in January for a March release. So that's gonna be the handheld, literally the handheld leader, and it has exclusives obviously. And
hmm
depending on what Nintendo does, I personally believe it's not going to be as powerful because I've been watching, Nintendo, content creators that have been talking about it, and I don't think it's going to be. They're expecting this powerful handheld with this Nvidia DLSS technology that will finally be able to get you to play when you dock it on your TV. You know, upscaled 4K, 60 frames, pretty much what the PS5 is doing. They're
yeah,
expecting the PS5 in their home now, but also
yeah,
still with the core identity of the Switch, which is portable, whatever. So obviously portable mode, still 1080p, still whatever. But with Nvidia's technology and DLSS 3, 4, whatever, you dock it, it can handle the next generation of games or the current generation of games that are being released on Xbox Series platforms and PlayStation platforms and PC, but are not releasing on the Switch because it's weak. They expect it to be on the Switch 2 now, right? And I'd say maybe up to a certain extent, maybe just below the Xbox Series S, but I don't think it's gonna be as powerful as some people are predicting. Not. You're definitely not gonna get even with temporal resolution, whatever, 4K. I just don't see it at $400. Now, if they're willing to sell the Switch
hmm
at 600, okay, I could then see that because Nintendo sells their stuff. That's the thing. Nintendo don't subsidize either. They don't.
yeah,
So if the Switch comes out, if the Switch 2 comes out at $400, that's $400 with profit. That means that thing's
yeah,
like 350, 320 built.
yeah,
They're making money off it,
yeah,
right? So it's not like they subsidize it and they built a $500 Switch and sell it to you for 400. They're not doing that. So whatever price they
mm,
selling it, make no mistake, they're making money that day, that moment. They're not
yeah.
subsidizing nothing. So unless you're
On
expecting a six
on
hundred dollar
top of their
Switch,
games,
don't
yeah.
expect don't expect a powerful Switch and stuff.
Yeah, on
You know.
top of their rehashed fucking games, because they're gonna the same Mario Kart, same thing that they did with the Switch, right? They ported the Wii U games over, charged you the same amount of money, and called it a day.
Hopefully it's backwards compatible. That would be some shady shit if it's not.
They said it
Yeah,
was, yeah, yeah.
it
They
better
said it
be.
was,
That should be crazy. Oh, let me
yeah.
get some
But
more
I'm gonna be
super.
honest.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I
Finish.
was just
Get the point.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna be honest with this. I don't think the Switch 2 is gonna sell as well as the Switch 1 did because for
Mm.
one, it's backwards compatibility. And I just personally, in my opinion, I don't think Nintendo is going to make a great case of why a existing Switch gamer should go with the Switch 2 because I don't think their graphics and shit is going to be that much better and different because Nintendo already said they don't do that. They don't do 4K, they don't do HD graphic, they don't do all that. They just
What
want to
about the
make great
exclusives
games.
though? Because they're not gonna.
They're
Uh,
gonna it won't have Switch 2 exclusives. It's all gonna
you think so?
just
You think it'll be cross gen?
yep.
You think they're gonna? You
I
think they're
think
gonna
it's gonna
cross
be
gen the
cross gen.
games? At
Listen,
least for
you're
the
gonna
first
get
few
one.
years.
Yeah, for at least for the first 2 years. Think about it. Look at all their handhelds previously, right? You
Mm.
had the DS, the 3DS, the DXXL, all that shit, right? It is what it is. I don't.
Mm.
We live in a day and age where people just don't want to move forward. Like PlayStation 6 come, my library better be there from the PS4, from the PS5. It better be there. Like that's an expectation. I better be able to do that. If Sony came out with a PS6 and it played only PS6 games, all hell is gonna break loose from all gamers because that's the expectation that was set.
Well,
That's going forward.
Well, what I mean by that is the Switch 2 will play Switch 1 games, but the Switch 1 will not play Switch 2 games. So the exclusives that Nintendo makes for the Switch 2 is what will drive, the new Mario Kart. Switch 2.
I just think it's gonna be.
You think it's
be honest.
cross-gen?
I could be wrong, right? And this is all my opinion.
We don't know. This is all new stuff. Is Nintendo really gonna drop 140 million players? Like
exactly. Look, but I'm going by their handheld of what they did previously. My DS games, right, worked on my 3DS. Now that was that generation that crossed the DS with the 3DS. But after 3DS, all those iterations and stuff, it was all just 3DS. It didn't matter what variation you have. So I don't know, man. I just think that way. I just think it's just gonna be Switch games that hopefully it plays your regular Switch games better. But even if it doesn't, it wouldn't shock me because it's Nintendo. But who knows? I could be, I know a lot of guys, oh no, it's gonna have DLSS and it's gonna dude, you don't fucking know Nintendo. Nintendo don't give a fuck about DLSS.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
Yeah,
These dudes are fucking living in a pipe dream, man.
Yeah, I don't see Nintendo being hardcore with the graphics.
Yeah, I see it being slightly faster, the screen being maybe slightly bigger, and the Joy-Cons being shaped a little bit different, but I don't see no drastic change because it's Nintendo. Nintendo don't do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to throw 140 million people out just to start over. They're not fucking doing that. They're killing it. They've been killing it for the last fucking 6-7 years.
No.
They don't care. They don't care.
All right. Jay Hart with the super chat. He says, I could see it. The dock has an additional GPU. So I would imagine, are you talking about the PS5 Pro? Or I would see that
Switch.
Switch. That's what I would like from the Switch.
You're talking about the Switch.
Yeah, that's what even if they sell the dock separately, it's not even part of the bundle. Me personally, what I would really want from the Switch 2 is for at least the dock to have its own GPU, right? And memory bandwidth, right? That when you plug it in, sure, the Switch, it will run on its own CPU, but the dock will have its own GPU and, RAM, and it will boost up the games to whatever. Even if that dock is a separate item, not part of the original package, meaning the regular package has a Switch 2 and the basic dock, which is pretty much, again, just a glorified HDMI connector. If you want boosted performance from the dock, you have to buy it separately for $150, $200. I would do it. I will buy the Switch for $100, and then I will buy the dock, this boost dock for $250. It'll be $650 total. I'll do it. I would do it. I'll be more than happy with that. I would love Nintendo to go with that. But who knows? Liquid Data, thank you for the super chat again. He says, I think PSSR is going to play a big part in the Portal Pro. I think all PlayStation technologies, I think we all agree with that. Pisser is part of is the thing.
It's here to stay.
That's there. It's here to stay. All PlayStation, I would imagine you are correct, Liquid. With the next handheld, Pisser's going to be part of that project, right? PlayStation 6, all of that. I think that's a big part of them going forward. All right. So I do agree, brother. And then we got Jenna Hayes with the super chat. She says J-Dub is describing how some Caucasian gamers act. Oh shit. The entitlement. This girl's crazy. All right. Let's move on to
my guy.
He said, I don't know. He's gonna try and get you in trouble. Jenna's trying to get you in trouble.
I know, right?
All right. The story is that. So real quick. So Yoshida. All right. Before we move on to the chat, thank you so much. Hey, appreciate you guys viewing. If you don't mind, hit the like button. Truly appreciate it. Yoshida, guys, real quick, announced he's retiring, or he's out of SIE in January next year. He is done. He is tired. Been working with the company for what 31 years. He has a PlayStation podcast. It says right here, Shuhei Yoshida to retire from SIE in 2025. Part one of an exclusive interview looking back on his 31 years with PlayStation. Starting with the launch of PlayStation, the talk covers Crash Bandicoot and the PS2. Those days as seen by the legend. You know, I might listen to that podcast. I would love to see his insight. Because that goes, like, you know what that is to be part of the launch of the PS1 and you were there to see it through and you're still here today? PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, PSP, Vita, PSVR, PSVR 2. The successes, the failures. Oh, he must have some crazy stories. He must have some crazy stories. You know which story I would love to hear? They got to do a documentary of PlayStation during the PS3 era. Like right before it, like, you know, like talk about towards the end of the PlayStation 2 how dominant it is, and then just go right through the PS3 era. Because I would love to be a fly in that room, because they must have been like, what the fuck happened? Because that shit crashed hard, bro. That shit was a fall from grace. Yo, this dude said that was their Icarus moment. They flew way too close to the sun. Yo, I would love a documentary, and all those players in that room. I would love, especially the day of the E3 when they announced $599 and the world's reaction. I would love to see that conference meeting the next day. Just to see how. Oh my God! Please do it, Sony. You know they have like
Forget the
old
next day,
camcorder-
just backstage,
they
just
have
backstage when he was
or
saying
just
it.
the
Yeah.
back page, like, like camcorder footage. Like, what the fuck do we do now? I don't know. We're just gonna push through. We're gonna figure something out. You know, I would love to see that. That's got to be a great story to tell. You know, the PS1, PS2 success. Yeah, I get it. Great way. I want to see the PS3 story. That's the story I gotta see, because that has to
It's
be
like
wild.
give me the things people want. People want the failure.
I hope Yoshida. So it's supposed to be a 2-part podcast. Part 1 is up. Oh man, I hope he touches on PS3 in part 2. That's God. He has to. He has to talk about it. He has to talk about how crazy that shit was. You know, and I gotta hear the developers, the truth. You know, they were like, this is a piece of shit. This cell processor. This shit sucked. Oh my God, I gotta see that story.
It's just a little piece of what he said. He said, I've been with PlayStation from the beginning, and this is my 31st year with PlayStation. And when I hit 30 years, I was thinking, it may be about time for me to move on. You know, the company's been doing great. I love PS5. I love the games that are coming to the platform. We have a new generations of management who I respect and admire. And I'm so excited for the future of PlayStation. There's no competition. So I think this was perfect time for me to go out on top.
So
My my God.
this is a quick bullet points of his career. April 1986, joined Sony Corporation. November 1993, Sony Computer Entertainment Incorporated Business Department. April 1996, Production Department Producer. October 1997, Executive Producer, Production Department, Production Headquarters. April 2000, Vice President, Sony Computer Entertainment of America. February 2007, Senior Vice President of U.S. Studios, SE Worldwide Studios. May 2008, President of SEE Worldwide Studios. April 2016, President Worldwide Studios, Sony Interactive Entertainment. And then November 2019, Representative Indies Initiative, Sony Interactive Entertainment. Boy. Oh, man, they got to have that story. But anyway, hey, are you guys concerned that he's leaving? Do you think PlayStation's
Nope.
good hands? You think there's still the right people there that got mentored, cultured? You think like do you think there's somebody there like when he saw God of War and told Cory Barlog, you out your goddamn mind. You better get your ass back in the lab if you think you're gonna bring this bullshit. Try again. You think there's people still there that could be like, well, of course not, because if there was, you wouldn't have Concord.
Well, I think
soon?
I
Too
think
soon?
there, yeah, I think there
Hey.
I
Too
think
soon?
there are people there. There's people there.
Not on the multiplayer
regardless,
side. You guys are fucked. All those guys are on my side of the fence.
We're working
no,
on that.
wait.
Matter of fact,
you
might be
gotta
requiring
get
to come
good.
over to our side.
You gotta get
Remember
good.
Which
the
we're
jury
You
trying.
is
guys
still-
gotta get
the
good.
Trying.
The jury is still out. We still got
Yeah,
held out, right? So the
you
jury
guys,
is
like
still
you
out.
said,
We
J Dub,
50-50.
you gotta get good.
We got to get good. 50-50. Listen, here's the thing. We have to understand. These fucking guys are old as shit. They've been with the company for 30-something years.
Yeah.
At some point, they was going to have to pass that torch. Right?
Look-
And here's the thing. When Ken Kutaragi and Andy House and the rest of those guys, we just remember the glory days of our childhood and what we find the pinnacle and the peak of PlayStation, right? Those days are gone. Those guys are gone. They left and PlayStation is still reigning. They ran everybody out of competition, right? Everybody's done. They fucking stomped Microsoft out. They ran Nintendo out of the fucking console space into the handheld space, right? There is nothing else. So like Yoshida said, like you fucking on top. Like PlayStation is they reached another plateau. These motherfuckers, the best TV shows on TV, the best movies out there. They're the best at what they do. That's not going to change. Will they still have some flops every now and then? Absolutely, because every company does that. You try something, you see what hits and then that's how you learn. Every company does that. Nintendo does it. Obviously, Xbox hadn't got the memo. They do it in reverse, right? But for the most part, PlayStation gaming will always live and breathe through its first party studios. It's always about the games. As long as they keep those legendary games, as long as they keep those legendary studios. Matter of fact, there is no Sony executive that could leave where I would be bothered. Now, what would bother me if Cory Barlog left, or if what's the guy at Naughty Dog?
Neil
Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann, right? Then that's what worried me, right?
Because it's too soon. You guys got time. You stick around a little longer.
Yeah. They're still young enough where they can keep cranking on. But fuck, 30 years. Like with Jim Ryan, he been there 30-some years. He left. I didn't care. But guess what? The company's going to move on without him. It's about the studios. It's about the games. They got plenty of studios. They got plenty of games. Our God of War isn't going anywhere. Our fucking Spider-Man, we saw the roadmap all the way to 2035. We're solidified with their first party. X-Men's coming. We got everything, right?
I fought hard for that.
As long as the games are there, we're good. They got the best hardware out there. They're able to beat even more powerful hardware with what they had with the PS5, right? And now they got the world's most powerful console. There is nothing to fear or to be worried about. Now, what I would be worried about, right, is again, if Neil Druckmann left, if those guys start to leave, then, and even if, let's say, Cory Barlog left, I would be worried, but I wouldn't worry so much because I feel like Eric, the guy who runs the studio now, or who made God of War Ragnarok, he did a great fucking job. So that studio could still survive. Now, when you get people that leave and there's nobody there who can kind of keep it together, that's when you worry. That's when you worry. But other than that, dude, this shit is fucking pretty much on autopilot for them because they're too good. They've been doing this shit for 30 years, man. 30 years. So, I mean, this is their 30th anniversary. They've knocked it pretty much. Look at their track record. From the day they stepped their toe into gaming, they've dominated with the deals that they've made, with the quality of games that they made, with the quality of hardware that they produce. There's the only, next to Rockstar, they're the only ones in gaming that's still spending $300 and $400 million for a single player IP. Nobody else is doing it. Microsoft decided not to do it. Nintendo, damn sure. I mean, you can add up all their games, it probably won't be $400 million. That's just what that is. So personally, I could care less. Now we're gonna miss Shu because he was that quality control guy, but he stepped out of that role and he just focused on the indie.
But he did it, yeah. You know why?
The smaller stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was. He said it was less stressful. and he really enjoyed the indie game, the indie sec. He gave us the Stellar Blades. He gave us the little smaller games. He probably was a guy that gave us Returnal. I know he gave us what's the cat game?
Stray.
Yeah, Stray. He gave us games like Stray, which whether you like them or not, they're good
Sifu.
quality. Sifu, right? Those are good quality smaller games that you can throw in there in the meantime while they're working on the big AAA stuff. And so we all have to agree that Shu has done a wonderful job with consistently supplying PlayStation with a top tier AA studio side quality size games to fill in the era in between the Spider-Mans and the God of Wars and the Naughty Dog games and stuff like that. He's done a great job with that, and he's going to be sorely missed.
Bro. All right. Okay. Shout out to Blue Jay. Thank you for Super Chat. Says he copped a limited edition Batman PS4 glass case ASAP. Good for you. That must look sweet. All right. Make sure you got anything on Yoshida, or you want to talk some shit on the next topic?
What's the next topic?
Call of Duty Game Pass did nothing for Xbox hardware.
I mean, that there is more exciting. But just to say anything on Yoshida, hey, listen, thank you for your service. You did well.
Appreciate it, Yoshida. Thank you so much for your years in PlayStation, making it great. Right? So the next topic. So Call of Duty's out. Lots of people playing it. 82% of the sales is on PlayStation, right? Yet the effect of Game Pass, right, and Xbox Series S being the cheapest barrier into next generation gaming absolutely did nothing. Apparently Microsoft did get more subscriptions, or higher subscriber rate, but nothing to improve the attraction of the hardware. Meaning more people did not go out and say, "Ooh, Call of Duty on Game Pass, and I could get a console for $250 or $300 or whatever, or I'm down." That didn't happen. So now here's the thing. If Call of Duty and Game Pass can't get people to buy an Xbox, what the hell will? Like, what's it gonna take? Like, what combo can you possibly do now at this point? If Call of Duty and Game Pass does not help with console sales, this shit's a wrap. Like, what's gonna take to sell the console? Or give it a spark? Anything. If Call of Duty and Game Pass can do it. I mean, the only other game maybe is Grand Theft Auto 6. And they're not going on Game Pass. So you can scratch that off. Like, Call of Duty's it. It's the top game. So what do you think, J-Dub? Like this is why I made my last video where I say, you know what? There's potential that Microsoft might just be like, you know what? It's time to give up on the console. You saw the recent, marketing blitz of this is an Xbox, right? So they're really pushing into people's heads what Xbox now is, and it's not hardware. It's just games on so many devices, and you'll get your Xbox games on this device. Your TV's an Xbox, meaning you get your play on there. You get your play on your PC. You get to play on your tablet. You get to play on your phone. And of course, everybody knows PlayStation, Nintendo, right? Now, if the mechanism that Microsoft created is just for the console, is primarily people playing games on Game Pass, then you really don't need a console for Game Pass, right? Microsoft just needs to get that audience onto another platform that they don't have to develop themselves. PC, they don't have to, sell it at a loss or whatever, right? Phones, play on your PlayStation, whatever, and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because at this point, why would you, let's say 2028 is the target year to create another console. Why would you create one just when you know people ain't going to buy it? It's not going to sell a lot. Why would you put yourself, you have to confront your shareholders for 8 more years talking about quarterly losses, hardware losses. Again, quarter after quarter. Oh, well, we barely made any market penetration. Hardly anyone's buying an Xbox. Why would you do that to yourself? Right? I think this marketing push of this is an Xbox is trying to get people to be like, hey, this is an Xbox, this is an Xbox. And get people over the next year or two, over the next 2-3 years, used to that. That way, 2028, 2029, they'll probably announce a cloud thing, maybe their handheld. But when people ask about, oh, what about the console? Microsoft, we're not doing a console. There's so many other ways you can play Xbox. We don't feel the need of making a console. People will be like, oh yeah, it makes sense. Playing Xbox here anyway. Cool. You might have the hardcore, right? The hardcore fans, the hardcore console guys, but they're gonna have to get over it. Because Microsoft's not gonna, I ain't gonna say they're not going to, but I could imagine that's not gonna be on their high priority list. How can we make this niche group of hardcore gamers happy? I don't think that's a metric for them anymore. If they could pretty
Nah.
much relieve themselves of the responsibility of investing,
Of the
the
hardware.
billions
Yep.
and billions and billions into hardware, and then creating it, putting it together, launch it, and it's just sitting on the shelf, and they're losing money over it. If they much rather not have to deal with that at all. Remove that segment out of their stuff, right? Um, the Game Pass gamers are currently on consoles, right? There's potential. They're gonna have to make
Yeah.
a choice. Without a new console, you're gonna have to make a choice. You're gonna have to. If you love Game Pass, well, you have other devices that can do it. If you want it natively, you got laptops and PCs, right? You also got the handhelds. If you don't mind cloud, playing on your Amazon Fire Stick that you already have. But if you are a hardcore console gamer and you want that native experience, you're not gonna, most likely not gonna get that anymore. Now you're gonna have to go to PlayStation and Nintendo, and Microsoft is like fine with that because guess what? You're gonna end up buying the games there anyway.
Nah, I agree. I'll still stand on this, man. I think this is Microsoft's last generation in the console space. It just doesn't make good business sense. You put not one but two current gen consoles out on the market. Nobody's buying either, no matter what price you drop it to. No matter what games you try to put on there, it's just not selling. People are not interested in the Xbox brand like that anymore. Um, I know the guys on Twitter will tell you they do, but the numbers will show you they don't. They don't play the games. They don't support the games. They don't download the games or buy the games. I think, and this is why this big campaign about play anywhere, everything is an Xbox. It's another reason to push people into saying whenever Microsoft decide to get rid of the hardware, not come up with another console, they're gonna say, well, we didn't give up on Xbox. You can still, like you said, play it on PC, play it on your PlayStation, play it on your Switch. All of those are Xbox devices to them. Fire Stick, Samsung TV, tablets, phones, there's a million ways to play on Xbox. Just because your console isn't there, don't mean you lose anything. And the install base is so small. Microsoft said, yeah, we don't care about these guys. That's why they fucking releasing $600-700 fucking consoles, right? They don't care. That clearly tells you they don't care. They put a console out on the market with no hardware improvements
$600,
whatsoever.
but it's
For
limited edition.
$100 cheaper than
It's
the
limited edition, 'cause
PS5
it got
Pro
sparkles.
with some sprinkles, right? Like
It
that.
bedazzled the
That in
motherfucker.
itself, yeah. Puerto Rock. I keep telling people they're not. What do you call it? They're not fist tone deaf. They're not fist clumsy. They're doing this shit on purpose. They are on purpose forcing people to just not give a fuck about Xbox. Because they see 140 million Nintendo gamers. They see 160 something 70 million PlayStation gamers out there, between the PS4 and the PS5. They see these large numbers. That combined, that's 350, 400 million people. That doesn't include the Xbox console. They'll be okay if they scrap the Xbox right tomorrow and start selling to PlayStation, Nintendo. They'll be just fine. They'll make more money than they ever made. That's just the reality of it. And I know some of the diehard Xbox go, oh no, but they said they're coming out with the handheld. They said they're coming out with the technologically most advanced. You don't know. They said a lot of stuff. Literally, the beginning of the year, Phil said it was just 4 fucking games, and don't take that as a sign that more is coming. 2 months after that, he said, yeah, more is coming. 3 months after that, he said, no red line. Sarah Bunn said, these are the games you're going to be playing in the next 12 months. Only one of those fucking games came out this year, which
Those
is
12
fucking
months haven't
Hellblade 2,
expired
right?
yet. Okay, those 12 months
Exactly.
haven't expired yet.
But come on. It's fucking December, right? So,
I mean,
so
that was
don't
last year, but
Yeah.
we're still counting. Who's counting? Who's
hey,
counting?
so right. This was supposed to be the year of Xbox, right? All the games supposed to come. We only got Hellblade 2. Nobody gives them credit for COD, regardless. So at the end of the day, Xbox is just super unpopular. There is really no reason to buy it. They tell you directly to your face there is no reason to buy it. And people aren't buying it. So I don't see them continuing to go out, spend billions of R&D for more shit that is going to sell even less than what it sold this generation. I just don't see it. Just to make a few fanboys feel good about their platform, that fucking they don't give a fuck about Xbox guys anymore. They tell you every day they care
shut
more
down the
about me.
ambassador
They care more
program.
me as a PlayStation guy, right? Because we're getting the new Halo, we're getting the Gears. You heard Ryan McCaffrey. There's a reason y'all not getting a sequel to Halo, Gears, and Forza. They're going back, they're starting over with part 1 so they can introduce me, right? To us, to the ponies.
Listen, I play
Right?
Halo
And a
on
Nintendo
Xbox.
fan.
Just to be fair.
Nah, but
I played
listen,
it on Xbox.
I played it too, but I'm gonna act like I never
Like
played
you
that
did
shit.
it.
And I'm gonna play it on my PS5 Pro. Just how Satya and Phil wanted me to play it, right? Sea of
Oh,
Thieves,
man.
the same way. Grounded, the same. You know, and let's say they do decide to come out with this handheld. Let's say they
I can see the
do
handheld.
decide to
Though.
come.
I definitely see the handheld
Yeah, maybe so.
because they
But
can sell it for profit. They don't have to subsidize it, right?
That's true. It can just be
Right?
an option that they throw out there.
Yeah, they just throw it out there. They sell it for $500.
But it's easier,
Buy it if you want.
right? To build something that's not going to be subsidized, but it's just an option because they don't have to make many of them.
Yes.
But the expectation when you spend billions on a console is that it's to bring millions in.
Set that.
I'm gonna be honest.
Up.
That expectation.
Create that marketplace.
Exactly. Yeah. So the investors are going to be looking at it like, listen, you spend billions and more dollars, and this shit is selling less than the Xbox Series S and X. Like, what is this trajectory we're going on? Right? The 360 was the peak. Then the Xbox One went half of that, right? So half of that. And now the Series X and S is selling half of that. What's next? There's only like, 1 million of sales that's going to be for a next generation Xbox. I don't see that happening. Satya is not a dumb man.
He wants them bonuses.
Absolutely.
So, so you know what? I just saw a little photo over here of Sony updating the PlayStation 2 to 160 million. Yo, they are desperately trying to hang on to this thing. Oh god, that is funny. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, I know that is out of context with the conversation, but that's hilarious. That is funny.
I started laughing.
That is hilarious.
I'm like,
oh my god, I'm gonna send it to you on the DM.
They included the cells they got in Cameroon.
Yeah, exactly. They double checked. They counted it again. They were like, "Don't stop the count. Double count. Check again. Check again." Oh my god! They're gonna at this point they're gonna start remanufacturing the PS2 just so they can sell more.
They're gonna launch the PS2 Mini and just add it on.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious! Oh my god! Yeah. And you know what? That's competitive as fuck. I'm sorry, but that's petty and competitive in the best way possible. Because when people are like, "Oh yeah, Sony doesn't want to compete," I'm like, these are the guys that don't want to lose the title to the Switch. No. They were gonna be like, I swear to you,
they found sales.
When the Switch gets to 157 million, they're gonna do like 160 million. 312. They're gonna keep going. They're gonna check with your grandma. How many did she buy? Did she not buy another? That is funny.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. That is god. That is hilarious as fuck. Because it was 152 million for the longest, and they just let the record sit there. They were like, "Yeah, whatever. This is inaccurate, but we don't give a fuck." Then the switch gets closer. They're like, "Actually, it's been a bit higher." They're like, "Oh, it's 157." Then the switch gets closer. Like, "Hey, actually, did we tell you 157? We found 3 million in the back. We gave it away to charity, so that counts." Oh, that's funny. Oh,
Oh
that's
my god.
funny. I swear to you, Sony is petty enough to do a rerun of the PS2 original spec just to be able to sell it to you more, just to stay ahead and be like, we have the title.
That
Oh
is
my
funny.
God, that is so transparent. This is the kind of attitude that one from companies. Like just petty shit. And look at that. It literally says PS2 is one of the biggest selling video game consoles of all time. Like they're just like, yeah.
Yeah, so I saw that update. I
Funny.
started laughing. I said, like, I don't know which is funnier. Sony actually updating that or the people
Yeah.
that are mad? Because there's Nintendo guys that are mad.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
Oh,
They're
really?
making it up. Oh, because
Really?
they want to.
Oh, the man?
Yeah, the Nintendo guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because they
oh,
want
I
that
thought they
title.
were just gonna take it as a laugh because they know they're gonna overcome it.
This is not what about. Them Nintendo fanboys are pissed.
What?
They want that.
That's
they want
crazy.
They want that title.
They want the
it.
title. They want the
They
belt.
want. They
They
want
want the
that.
belt.
They want their place as number one selling console of all time.
Oh,
Now
that's
that shit's-
funny as
Now
fuck.
that shit is 160. Wait a
Oh,
minute.
that's funny as fuck.
Switch has to sell another 20 million. They're like, wait a minute.
Whoa.
The fuck?
Wait. Where's the
What
Switch
is
at?
this
Where's
20?
the Switch at?
Switch is like
Where's
at
the Switch
140.
at?
140. They're at 140.
Oh shit, they're 20 away?
Hey,
Oh,
that shit said,
And-
you know
but
what?
guess what?
You know
No,
what?
check this out, though.
Nintendo. Fuck
They
next year. Release that shit
No,
a year later. You're gonna get it. You need
they
one more
launched-
year.
The word came out today that Nintendo is going to show off, do what they.
Oh, did they get
they
him?
got you.
Oh, they got him. They got
got
him.
you. They're
It's
not trying to
another.
hear
It's
that shit.
another phone call.
Nintendo-
It's another
Nintendo
phone call
said-
from the Cayman Islands.
Nintendo said nope.
The
You're not
ninjas
talking
were
about
like,
us.
"Hey, cut this off. Cut him off."
Miyamoto's like, you're not talking about us. You're not gonna reveal our
Hey,
secrets.
listen. That is hilarious. I saw
That's
it and I just burst out laughing. I'm just like, what the fuck, yo, man. I've always said this. Listen, this is what you want in your companies, okay? You want a company that is just petty as a motherfucker, okay? And that is
That's
trying
petty.
to be like, we are the best, okay? We are the best, you know? That's funny. And I love the way they said one of the best-selling consoles of all time, because you know that Nintendo can technically do it with like the DS. Like if you combine enough DS generations, you can make the argument that they've outsold the PlayStation 2. So Yoshida probably walked out. He was like, as my last thing, put the biggest selling. And then the guys were like, legally we can't do that. And he was like, why? And they were like, well, technically the DS generations, people kind of see them as one. And then if you add enough of those, they've outsold us. I was like, God damn it. I quit. I'm leaving this trash ass company.
Oh man. That's
Oh
just-
my God. Hey,
That is
Yoshida
funny.
could see the writing on the wall and he's like, this won't be part of my legacy. Fuck y'all.
Oh,
Like,
man.
my legacy is a PS2. I brought that shit to market.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
man.
gonna leave at the top dog. That's why he's quitting. 31 years, he had another 9 in him, but he's like, I'm not doing this as a second place to hold. I'm not losing the belt. I will not hand it over.
He's leaving. He scratched it off, put 160 and walked
Yep,
out the door.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
Let me do
Oh,
some
that's
super
fucking
chats.
hilarious.
Shout out to the Claymores. Thank you for the super chat. Says I need to double back to play Ultros and Pacific Drive. Shuhei knows how to find those indie games. Yeah, he has a good talent for that, man. Good talent across the board, man. Patrick
And
Allen.
listen, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
You
No,
you're
finish,
gonna talk
finish.
about the indie point?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about the indie point.
Okay.
No, I was definitely gonna say that he. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Patrick
Go ahead.
Allen.
You do it.
He says, I don't think Sony is gonna do one either. I think they're just saying that to scare Xbox. Like, make a console? Oh, Sony's definitely making a console. They're the dominant console. They got the market share. Most of the multi-plats are sold on PlayStation. The money transactions, the free-to-plays, they're making a ton. 4 years in, and this is the most successful console generation they had, and the generation's not even over. They reported that, 2 quarters ago? That they made more profit in these 4 years than the profits they made the entire generation of PlayStation 4 or 3 or 2 or 1. This is the most successful ever. They're just not going to stop. Especially with barely any competition. Nintendo's going to do their handheld thing. Xbox, who knows? Maybe they will make a console. Maybe they're not. Even if they did, are they really going to be able to be a competitive seller while they're putting their games on PlayStation? PlayStation most definitely making a console. I think, see, this is the thing. This is the symptom of everybody thinking, well, Microsoft is doing it, so that means the industry is doing it. I don't think gamers, so maybe Patrick, I think you fall in this group, Patrick. I don't think you guys, some of you don't realize why Microsoft is even a console. It isn't because of the box itself or just the effort it takes to create the box. The point of the box is to get into people's home because you want people to consume and buy your games through that box. It's the storefront. That's the problem. But that only works if you sell enough consoles. You can't be selling 20 million consoles, 30. That's not enough people. Like, you can't sell 20, 30 million consoles while your competitor is selling 60, 70 and almost everybody, right? Call of Duty is a perfect example. 82% of the sales was on the PS4 while 18's on the Xbox. Most of the multiplats, people are buying it for the console gamers anyway. It's primarily being sold on PlayStation. When you're getting scraps of sales, scraps in MTX, the majority of people are playing Fortnite on PlayStation, not on your console. You're not driving in the revenue to justify the existence of that console. And that's the problem. PlayStation is. They're making a shit ton of money from third party, from Maddens, from the Call of Duties, college football, Hogwarts Legacy, people playing Fortnite and Apex Legends. Sony's making tons of money through that. So they're going to keep making consoles because they're going to keep making all that money. They're going to make a lot of money off of the industry. Xbox is not. What Xbox is doing is they're primarily trying to make their money off of their own subscription services and their own sale of games, to which now they own a lot of IPs. They're trying to switch the model. So less about the marketplace and more about getting to our ecosystem with subscription and game sales, right? And that's what they're trying to do. That's why the console is not as valuable to them as it is to Sony. Sony's still making a shit ton of money off of that 30% and money transactions, game sales, free to play, all that stuff.
Everything.
All that stuff. Yeah. So Sony's most definitely will be making a console, especially now that they're almost, like it or not, monopolizing it. Because now it's primarily going to be down to 2 main competitors that actually can sell consoles, Nintendo and PlayStation. But Nintendo's so far off on a different wavelength that really PlayStation's in his own lane and Nintendo's in his own lane. So Sony's definitely going to make a console. Patrick Allen, thank you for the super chat again. He says, you're wrong, dude. Microsoft is a software company, so the Game Pass is going to stay here for some time. I didn't say Game Pass was going to go. Did I say Game Pass was going to go away?
Can we just talk about the insecurity of these Xbox fans when it comes to Game Pass?
No, but I didn't say Game Pass was going to go away. I said a console.
Every time you say anything bad about Xbox, it's like, oh my god, you hate Game Pass. It's like, boy, nobody gives a fuck about Game Pass.
Can I say one thing? Remember I
didn't say Game Pass was going to go away. If anything, that's the catalyst that's driving Microsoft to get rid of the console. Because again, you don't necessarily need the console for Game Pass, especially when they're telling you PCs and Xbox. That means you can play Game Pass there. You can play it on your phone. You can play on your Fire Stick, right? The only places you won't be able to play Game Pass is really PlayStation, Nintendo, because they don't want that, right? But then at that point, if you want native console gaming, you're going to have to make a choice. PlayStation, Nintendo, and so on. And Microsoft probably be fine with that too, because they're still making money if you're buying Xbox games through those platforms, right? And I think Microsoft's like, y'all buying PlayStations anyway, so you're not really threatening them. You're not scaring them and saying, if you don't make a console, we're going to buy PlayStation. Microsoft's like, you know how many people have made that choice already? Like, I don't think people realize how bad it's gotten for the console. It's gotten really bad for them, Yeah. What were you saying, Extreme?
No, J-Dub first.
Oh, J-Dub?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, remember the ABK court case when the leaks came out, it showed that Microsoft had deadlines, they had benchmarks. They got to be at 50 million Game Pass subscribers by 2025, and they have to be, which the fiscal year 2025, which is the fiscal year 2026, which is 2025, for them. They had to be by 50, and then by 2030, they got to be at 100 million Game Pass. They're not going to hit that. Looking at the numbers that they have now, they're not going to hit that. So these guys think that just Game Pass is just going to keep. Listen, man, Microsoft will pull out of this shit and not skip a beat. Look what they did with Ninja with the whole Mixer shit. They paid this guy like what $30 million and pulled the plug after a couple of months before before Halo even came out. Right? His goal was to market Halo and play Halo and stuff. They don't care. Xbox is a pet project for them. And I know you guys love to think that Xbox really means something to them. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Well, I would say ABK changed the game for them because that they are literally saving Xbox. I think that while it damned the console, which it did, because I think that was the main catalyst, because the cost of ABK was too big to keep it exclusive for Xbox. I think that's what did it in ultimately, right? Way too much money, and they're like, oh hell nah, right? But what I do think is ABK is literally holding Xbox on his back, and what's driving this whole momentum and shift and all that stuff. I think without ABK, I think they would have pulled the plug. Like if they didn't buy Bethesda and ABK, and let's say they didn't do any of those moves, and they just stuck with what they got, I think they would have been like, yeah, we shutting this bullshit down, you know. Yeah. But I think with ABK, it kind of gave it a new lease on life, but in the direction that they're heading now, which is everything's on Xbox. We got games everywhere. Because now look, they got but now they legitimately have number one selling game, or possibly the number one selling game in Call of Duty. They got World of Warcraft. They got Candy Crush. They got all this other stuff they just didn't have as a gaming publisher. They got it now. It's really the console that's really, it's the stench. It's that cousin that won't leave. That came for visit for Christmas, but now it's July, and like you're still here. That's that Xbox, and I think that's really what Xbox trying to do. Like, we gotta find a way to get rid of this damn thing. Not so much get rid of it, like just trash it, but get people their mind off it, and get them on so many other devices where they could sell them Game Pass through there and stuff like that. So that way, when the next generation comes, they'll be like, yeah, we're not doing the console thing. We are finally free from this device. Get a handheld. I think they're still definitely gonna do that. But if they did, but like you said, a dedicated console, it's gonna be crazy that they created, and then for the next 8 years, people are still making fun of it because no one's buying it. Interesting.
And no one is going to buy it because you gave away all your games. Like,
they know that.
Bro,
it's even gonna be worse because you put it on PlayStation, and then on a Pro, it's better. So it's even gonna be worse.
Fuck the Pro. Fuck the Pro. No. It's better on the base. Oh, yeah. It's better on the base. What the fuck are we doing? Like, we don't even need the Pro.
You see what I'm saying?
Like, that's the thing. That's embarrassing. Yeah. Like, if it's better on the Pro, everybody understands why it's better on the Pro. It should be better on the Pro. But when it's better on the base console that you said you were more powerful than the monster you were supposed to eat for breakfast, yo, hey, listen, Trucknet. Aaron from the chat, I'm gonna need you guys to come on the mic because you guys listen. Trucknet is the king. He's like Neeb on Twitter, but on YouTube comments. Okay, you've got paragraphs of things to say that are all wrong, but because you do it in text form, and none of us can be bothered to read all of it and to respond to your encyclopedia. Okay, on a fucking YouTube comment, you think you get away with it, you think you're intelligent. I'm gonna need you to come on the mic so that we prove to you that you are not intelligent live. Because you don't say shit that matters. Okay? Same thing with you, Aaron. You're always here. Why aren't you in the just come? Hey, come to the Discord.
Everybody,
where are you?
I haven't said this in a while. I haven't said it now. Extreme came here from the chat comments. The Judge, The Truth, a lot of people. This channel's always been open.
Aaron, you don't cook the entire chat. You don't cook anything. You couldn't cook water. Like, honestly, you're just burning yourself. There is nothing on the stove. I'm gonna need you to come on because every time, week after week, we talk about these goddamn topics. You go off in the chat, the other one goes off in the comments. I think you might be the same person. I hardly ever see the two of you at the same time. Okay? Because one of them is like in a live chat all the time. The other one is paragraphs like fucking novellas in the fucking comments.
Oh,
And
stop.
every week we invite you to come on so that we can talk about these facts. God damn it. We told you the other time that Call of Duty, like, remember when we had the question about Call of Duty going to Game Pass? And I said, I don't see what it's going to do because the people that are already in Game Pass essentially get it for free. Like, yeah, they pay for it, but they're going to pay for it anyway. So it's just a value add to them. That's great for them. Those are the people that truly win. And then we talked about the fact that people on PlayStation aren't going to move in order to just get the $7 game. And anyways, and if you did that every month, you'd be paying more per year. We talked about all this shit. And then these fucking guys leave novellas. So where are you when the data comes in? And it's clearly exactly what we said.
That's true.
Where are you? You're here in the community all of the time, but you don't want to come on the mic to see how dumb you sound. Come on the mic.
It was a nothing burger. It was a nothing burger. Game Pass and Call of
That's
Duty.
exactly what we said. And that is not fucking Game Pass hate.
That's facts.
It's not Game Pass hate. It's just the fact of the matter. Like, it's not hard to see. Just so I can see that if there's a mini PS5, it's going to be $1,000. But no, you guys will be going off about these fucking examples or this fucking Ouya-like console. And you'll be like, oh, look, this handheld is only $200. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Come on the fucking mic. TruckNet, where are you? I'm waiting. Aaron, you're already here. Why have you gone? Why have you gone? Where have you gone? Why you reply in the chat, mate? Reply that you are coming. You want an invite? I'll send you the invite myself. Where do we even find you? What's your gamer tag? I'll send it to you via fucking PSN. Like, what's going on? You guys are losers, bro. Hey, listen, Game Pass. Here's another thing that J-Dub pointed out, right? And he said how they were going to want 50 million Game Pass users and everything like that, right? Here's the thing with that metric. It has never been concurrent users. Like, it has never been concurrent. They have never once said and clarified these are concurrent numbers or monthly active users. Remember how they love that metric for everything else? But they've never said that about Game Pass. They have never said these are monthly active users on Game Pass. So it's irrelevant numbers anyway. Even the metrics that they put forward as Microsoft are misleading because if you're just going to count the totality of people that have ever tried Game Pass, then the number's only ever going to go up. And it doesn't matter if it goes up really, really quickly one time, but then if everybody drops it, but you keep the number high, you know? I was listening to a video. Do you guys know about MLMs, multi-level marketing companies? Do you guys know about those guys? What they do? Yeah. It's basically a pyramid scheme.
You buy into it and then you sell it.
It's a pyramid scheme.
The guy you bought it to, it's a pyramid model.
It's a pyramid scheme.
Andrew Tate in his Hustle University. That's an MLM.
Yeah, exactly. Pyramid schemes, scammers, and everything. But here's the thing. Okay, I watched some YouTube videos of a person that exposes MLM marketing guys, right? And here's the thing. The people at the top of the pyramid, they make lots of money, usually millions of dollars a year if it's a successful MLM. But you know how they manage it? They manage it so that if 1 month you hit a certain metric, you get to a certain rank. Once you got to that rank once, okay, just one time, you will forever be, let's say, a quote-unquote emerald representative. Like, let's say that emerald is like 3 levels below the highest of the high, yeah? Okay? Emerald, once you hit it just one time, you will be an emerald representative forever, as long as you stay in the company. But here's the thing. If the next month you don't meet the same metric, you will be paid as a lower tier on the pyramid. So when you go out and you present yourself, you'll be like, oh yeah, I'm an emerald member, right? And people will think you're making at least $100,000 a year. But then in reality, in the next month, you could have tremendously bad luck and you will be paid accordingly. And that's exactly what I think is going on with the whole Game Pass thing. Because they refuse to give us actual active users, they will hit the 30 million milestone. And they will always say, hey, we have 30 plus million Game Pass subscribers. But you don't really, because in the next month, you don't have 30 million anymore. In the next month, you could have 22 million. In the month after that, you could have 35 million. In the month after that, you could have 13 million. But it doesn't matter because you're always putting out this rank, okay? This empty little placeholder. And the thing is this, Call of Duty is going to help you grow that rank. We know that they said this. They literally said that there was a surge in Game Pass subscribers because of Call of Duty. Of course there was. It was always going to make an impact. There was always going to be a splash. But the point is, you use that in a dishonest way. Because now you were going to report, oh my God, now we are 35 million members. But you're not month to month. And that's the one thing that I respected when PlayStation was still releasing their numbers, is that they went up and down because there were actual active users. Game Pass could have something as few as 10 million monthly active users for all that we know. But Microsoft is always going to fob. They're always going to pretend to be the emerald representative when in reality they are fucking bronze. Okay, and that's what they are. I want you guys to know that Microsoft isn't third place in gaming; they are last place in gaming. I want you to know that wherever, no matter how many competitors ever come to the gaming market, Microsoft will forever take last place. Everybody else will just shuffle forward ahead of them. Okay. And Game Pass is a big part of the reason as to why. Doesn't mean that Game Pass is bad value for the customer. Sure. But Game Pass is value destructive for the brand. So you guys, keep going like, oh, Game Pass is like the one advantage that Microsoft has. Sure. Because it's a subsidy that pretends to be more successful than it is. It's the girl that goes and buys the Gucci outfit when she can barely afford it. She buys it on credit. That's what you're getting through Game Pass. It's credit-based living. Okay, you guys are doing poverty gaming through. Forget about Game Pass. It will not be the savior of your brand. If you want to save your brand, here's what you do. Very first step, fire Phil Spencer. Very next step, fire Matt Booty. Very step after that, fire the next person under them, but not Sarah Bond. She's good. Okay, then what you're going to do is you're going to reinstate all of these exclusives. Everything that you said before that you don't like and oh my God, you don't support. And then you know what you're going to do? You're going to make baby formula. And I'm going to tell you what baby formula is. PlayStation games. Those first party exclusives, make those. Those third parties, over the shoulder, cinema, sad dad, post apocalyptic, make those. Make 2 or 3 of those before you start making other drinks, okay? Make the baby formula first because the baby formula sells, okay? First do that, get some, wins in your court. Then maybe you can go and, create creative shit on the side. Then you know what you're going to do? Actually, before you even make the baby formula, you get rid of Game Pass day and date. Because really, the only thing that makes Game Pass a sinking ship is a whole day and date promise. Okay? Day and date is an anchor to Game Pass. You know what's funny? Paradoxically, I think that more people would have subscribed to Game Pass if they didn't have day and date. Because they wouldn't be pulling down the resources for everything else. Because these game budgets wouldn't need to be so small in order to justify them being given away for basically free. You guys are taking hundreds of thousands of hours of manpower and you're trying to give it away for free. Like, do you know what that does to a company? Well, yes, you do. Look at what Xbox just did with This Is an Xbox. That's the result of Game Pass. Get rid of Phil Spencer, get rid of Game Pass day and date, start making baby formula, and then maybe you can get a seat back at the table at anything other than last place. Because that's what you guys are. So listen, Aaron, Trucknet, stop writing me paragraphs in the comments. I'm not going to read them anymore. Come on the chat and you can talk to me directly.
Okay. Oh, well. So, Lego Horizon. Yeah. What happened
Look
to
at
that?
Trucknet writing paragraphs on the chat. You fucking cowards. By the way, Aaron, Trucknet, y'all are cowards. I just want you to know that. I want you to accept that. Open your heart to it. Accept it. This is what you are. Fucking coward, tiny little boys.
Jesus. Man, say it with your chest, bro.
I was going to say
Anyway.
mustard.
That's it. Mustard. Hey, say it with your chest. Hey, but for nothing else, everybody knows. Hey, a lot of people come out of the chat and into the podcast. Just hit me up on Twitter or Blue Sky. Puerto Rock
Oh,
77
you're
underscore. Yeah.
you're where the
Puerto
sky
Rock
is bluer.
77. Yeah, Puerto Rock 77 Blue Sky.
No
Or
underscore. You
no
even got there
underscore.
without the
No
underscore
underscore.
necessary.
Yes, because I
That's
got
how
the
it
name
makes it
first.
better.
I got the name
Yeah, there you
first
go.
before
There you
somebody
go.
else. Somebody else took Puerto Rock 77, so I had to throw in the underscore on Twitter. All right.
Wait. They actually stole your name.
No, somebody had it when I created an
Wait.
account. That was years ago.
Wait,
too, I
isn't
think.
that is that before or after you made your debut on like the YouTube scene?
No, this was before because remember I
Oh.
got Twitter in 2009.
Oh,
So
someone
yeah,
had
way
it.
before. Yeah, somebody had
Oh.
it. I'm like, what?
Oh man.
I'm gonna find
Oh
you.
man.
Nah,
So,
I'm just
wait. So this whole time you're cribbing someone else's style.
Let's say I know Chris someone style.
This is identity theft.
Wait, hold on. He made it a hot line. I made it a
You
hot
made
song.
a hot song.
Oh, all right. So, hey, but Lego Horizon, what the hell happened to that?
What happened to it?
Like 71 Metacritic, 5.5 mixed user
That's a loss for
reviews?
you guys. That's a loss for
that's a
you
Lego
single
game.
player
That's it?
people.
That's
No,
That's
that's
not Lego
Nintendo.
game.
No,
That's a loss for you. Hey,
That's Nintendo.
hey.
That's
That's
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Hey, Gorilla, wait
That's
on it. That's a
Nintendo.
loss for your side. That's your
Nintendo.
Concord.
That's what you get. That's what you get for fucking with Nintendo. Yo, but you know what? It's even worse than Concord because in Reddit they're saying Lego Horizon Adventures launches with fewer day one players on Steam than Concord.
Hey, that's a loss for your side. There we go.
Like, what the hell is going on? You know what it is? Because you took out budget. You took out budget. we
They
have to
try to
make
make that
Lego.
shit in
We
the
have,
Decima
to,
engine.
we have to make Lego games because you took out budget for these live service games. So we're stuck making Lego games. Blocky ass
Yep.
Lego game. Yo, that shit, like, what the fuck? Like, don't hear shit about it. Flopped in sales, 71 Metacritic. Now, here's my thing. Why? What is this game? What was this supposed to do?
Wait, how much was it actually?
It's like $60. It was 60
$60
Yeah.
or something like that. I think, right?
for
Yeah,
that game?
$60.
I think it was gonna be like 30. Or that's what it is. That's the
All of
price.
the
The fuck?
all of the Lego games are
They're like 60.
$50.
Yeah, they're $60.
It is not worth $60. Are you kidding?
It's $60. I'm looking at it right now.
That's what happened to it.
But I think
That's,
most of the Lego
I
games come
literally
at that
thought
price.
it was $30, and I just never really checked.
Nope,
Hey, listen. You try to beat Nintendo. That's what they try to do. If Nintendo made this, it'd be $70, and no one would complain about
but
it.
it would be Mario or Zelda.
You know
Horizon's a
what?
great game. I absolutely love the game,
Mhm.
but it doesn't have that brand.
It doesn't carry
recognition.
that. Yeah,
You can't just make anything and boom, it's gonna hit.
and it's not
because of the
Nintendo
name.
first party.
No, you could do that a Lego, and I'm gonna tell you, if Nintendo would have went to Lego and says, "Hey, we're making a Lego Mario," it would be a hit, and it would be exclusive to Switch. That
Yeah.
shit would not be on anything. Nintendo will say either exclusive or we're just not doing this deal at all. Take it or leave it.
You
That
know
shit
what?
would-
This is actually
That shit would
first
not be
of
on
all,
PlayStation at all.
as the captain of the single player side, I need you to acknowledge your L here. Okay.
Okay.
Second of all,
Listen,
this is a great
listen.
thing. This
Hold
is a
up,
great
hold up.
thing.
You took my budget. This is
This-
exactly what I'm afraid for.
This is a.
Alright.
Don't make me sue you like the Sony Music Group did. Okay.
Okay,
We're
like,
gonna
you
have
did this to
60
me. You took
person,
my money.
like-
We're done.
Hey,
No, this-
listen. Second of all,
it's
this is
bad.
great because Sony needs to like cut this shit out. Stop making
agree.
games for other platforms. Shut the fuck up. I don't care if you want to make things on. Like, I don't need you to be making things on Nintendo. I'm glad. Okay, as a
Yes.
Horizon lover, I'm glad you lost. Okay, just the same way I'm glad Gravity Rush isn't a thing. I love that failure. Oh my god. Oh, you guys know I love that failure. Listen. The only thing that just holds me back this year is the fact that Metaphor somehow succeeded. Like, goddamn, like I want that game to die. Okay, but listen, I'm glad this game died.
You're
Okay,
terrible.
because you betrayed the PlayStation Nation. Okay, this isn't an open marriage. We're exclusive. This isn't an open marriage. It's not an open relationship. You're not allowed to go sleep with other people. We don't want threesomes. We don't want them. We don't want foursomes. We don't want groupies. We don't want them. We don't want them. Okay? It's us forever. Even when it gets stale, it's us. It's only the two of us. We'll try different toys, but there is no other partners allowed. Okay? There will be no cucking. We don't want any voyeurs on the side. It's not an open relationship over here. It's exclusive. You make games for me, I pay you money for those games. The moment you put them on some other platform, you betray the contract, okay? PlayStation Nation, for the first time, I'm glad. I'm glad that you guys held the ground. Because fuck this shit. We're not doing this. Because then next thing you know, they're going to try to start putting games on other places again. Hey, listen, the whole PC thing, listen, that's you cheating, outside of the home. We know it's happening, but we don't confront you about it. We're still not happy about it, though. But this whole thing, nah. This infidelity right in front of our eyes, day and date on another platform, whoa. Yo, Poro, what would your girl do if you went out, you kiss another girl at the bar right in front of her? Right in front of her. Listen, we're not here for that.
Everybody in the bar is getting murdered.
There you go. There you go.
Even if I had nothing to do with this, you have to die because you saw it and you did nothing.
You were witness.
You witnessed it. Everybody.
And then, you know what? She killed everyone besides you. She's like, I'm not killing you. No. I'm not gonna let you do this easy. You're gonna suffer. Police,
he did it.
You're gonna suffer. You're gonna suffer. You're my husband forever. You're not going nowhere.
But yeah, so I don't know. So I hope, listen, I hope this woke up Sony. I hope this snapped them out of whatever stupid shit they were doing. Because nothing. Like, listen, the thing is so off the radar that you don't even have Xbox podcasts talking shit. That's how bad it is. You don't even have people talking shit. So I don't know what happened here. Let that shit go. Let that shit die. Last topic, and I just want to cover. So Max Payne remake is in effect. Remedy said they're in full production now, and they're being backed by Rockstar. So the Max Payne remake is backed by Rockstar. They're getting that Rockstar money, big production, all out, full production. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. This is what I like, because Max Payne originally came out, was on PC, but years ago. And it came out on PS2, right? So to me, a game like that deserves a remake. You understand what I'm saying? I know, Extreme, I already know your feeling. Even games that came out yesterday deserve a remake tomorrow. I get it.
I don't discriminate. It's all love. Just peace and love from my heart.
But for
me... You know what game deserves a remake?
Metaphor
Fantasio. Let me tell you. Remake that shit. Flush out the entire dev team and remake it. Fuck Atlas, by the way. But yeah, keep going.
He said remake from sorry. But you know what I mean? But definitely a game like, Max Payne, which came out in the early 2000s, blocky. At the time it was fine. But now with all these advancements and Rockstar saying, here's a blank check, do what you gotta do. Oh man, I'm really looking forward to Max Payne remake. Especially on that Pro. Ooh. Well, it depends. If it comes out this gen, it might come out. Might be a.
Oh, even if it comes out next gen, it will still be on. It'll be a cross gen.
It'll definitely
be a PS5 game. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But
there's no game that's being made now for the next console only. Like. That won't happen until like 2028.
Yeah. Or even 29, if it even does happen, right? Who knows what the way cross gen could go. But that's why I'm excited. I just wanted to bring that up. I'm excited. So if you guys didn't know, Max Payne's in full production. And backed by Rockstar funding. Incredible. So I'm happy for that. All right. That's it. That's what I got. That's the topics. You guys got anything you want to get off your chest, talk about? I already know you went into the chat, went in on Chuck. You know what I'm saying? And Aaron. And I think I invited these dudes one time. Everybody knows in the chat. Everybody. If you've been to the channel, everybody knows I welcome new voices and people to say their opinion. You are more than welcome to come on the show. Just hit me up on Twitter or Blue Sky, send me a message. I will send you a link to the Discord, let you know where to go, and boom, magic. I mean, Ramon, Extreme, Judge, The Truth, Jimmy Harrison, everybody got their start in the chat, and I'd be like, hey, batter up. Time to get you out of the minor leagues and put you in the game. So everybody's more than welcome, and again, it doesn't have to be like PlayStation centric personality. Anybody, PC guys, whoever, if you want to talk your talk, you guys are more than welcome. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's what I got. You got anything extreme?
Yo, I've got more smoke. For Aaron and Truck. Okay, I have. Okay. Listen, you're gonna get it today. Okay, you're gonna learn today. Hey, listen. Can we talk about this whole Xbox delusional fantasies? About this whole handheld thing, first of all? Mike, listen. Phil Spencer and Microsoft have never confirmed that they were making handheld for you. Stop holding on to this thing.
Did Phil say he's years away though in the recent interview?
He said that they were looking into it. And
Oh.
if
Yeah,
they
he said
were
that
to do
that's
it,
something he
if
was
they were
interested
to
in.
do it,
Oh, he's
it would be
interested.
years away.
Yeah,
You know,
something he was
that's
interested
it.
in. He never said
That's
that
it.
they were.
So he
Never
didn't
confirmed.
confirm. He just said they
Never
would be
said.
interested. Okay.
And can
Yep,
I
he
just
said
say,
that.
they promise you a high-end fidelity VR on stage at E3. Where did that shit go? Where did it go? Fucking nowhere. Like Game Pass subscriptions. Okay? Let me tell you, they never said that. And then there's the delusion. Okay? You can't even blame Xbox for this one. Like, how can you guys create things that you can't blame Xbox for? They do so many things you can blame them for. How can you create things that you can't? Like, that's ridiculous. This whole thing about they're going to release a new console in 2026. Where the fuck did you guys get that? Where is that coming from?
Colt.
Stop lying to yourselves. It's the exact same thing about the tools. Where did these tools come from? Where are they now? Can we do a where are they now episode for the tools? Like, it's been that long.
I know what you're talking about. Where are they? What happened to them?
Where are they now? Where are they now?
I don't know.
Can we stop lying to the people you lie in the chat all of the time? Where are you getting this? It's the exact same thing you guys said about the whole RDNA architecture. You guys still haven't fully unlocked the RDNA that's in the box. Hey, Truck, didn't you say there was a patch coming? Where's the patch? Stop lying to the people. The people have been lied to. You guys always hang around here and yet you just spew our lies. Come, what is it, Truck or Aaron? Aaron said that, oh, he's not PG. Am I PG? Why are you a coward? Come here. What, you're going to be worse than me? I mean, listen, you're worse than Xbox, so that's believable. But the point is this, you don't have to be PG on this show. And you know what? If you're too much for this channel, bring it to mine. My channel is dog shit. And we can, like, no one expects shit from. Go ahead. I don't even care when we do this. We'll do it live.
Why he said this
We'll
channel's
talk
too
on-
PG? Why he wants to say some racist shit? Like what? Like I mean,
Yeah, I know. Like, is this like an Andrew Tate? Like, is it gonna look at me and be like,
talk like
I
Andrew
don't
Tate
address
and
black
shit?
people?
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, how bad you
Acknowledge
gonna
the
talk?
blacks.
He's gonna drop f-bombs every third word. like, oh shit. Oh,
He's
snap,
going to use King Cratch's favorite word.
Snap.
You know, and I'm not
My
talking
man.
about look.
Oh
You know?
shit.
Man.
My man said London R-rated is nothing. Like, oh shit, he wants to call everybody bloody cunts on my channel every 5 times. Like, oh man. Like every third word's on F-bomb and stuff. Shout out to Maxwell Quevedo. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Maxwell said, before you guys go, I don't care what nobody says. After Sony gets Kadokawa, they need to go for Arrowhead, Remedy, CD Projekt Red, Square Enix.
What?
They get all of those and nobody is effing with them.
Hey, you know what,
He wants to gobble them all up. You know what I'm saying?
Maxwell?
I'm gonna be honest.
I
would say, I always said that if Sony were to go for somebody, it would be CD Projekt Red. That would make the most sense out of everybody.
I hope they don't, because CD Projekt Red is a PC first developer. And again, if they are going to get them, what are they going to do? They're going to try to be infidel with us again, try to go in and cheat on us. Nah, fuck them. Fuck them. They are for the streets. Okay? CD Projekt Red, Square Enix, Remedy, they are all for the streets. The only one that you said there is Arrowhead, okay? Arrowhead is she's with us, okay? So that's our babe, okay? They don't make shit for anyone else, okay?
Well, they made for
put a
PC.
ring on that one. Pardon?
Put it for PC. They made for game.
Oh yeah,
PC.
that's just because of the live service strategy.
Yeah.
Like they were faithful.
Yeah.
That was
You
our
guys.
thing. That was
That's
our
your
thing.
fault.
We
That's your
wanted to
fault.
experiment. Yeah,
Your
exactly.
fault.
That's our fault. We'll
You
take
made-
that.
you-
We'll take that.
You
Yeah,
made them into
we'll take
cunts.
that. That's me. Yeah, that's as a representative of the multiplayer side, I can tell you they didn't even want to do it. They didn't even want to do it.
No,
you know,
no,
they were like, I don't know, I never tried this before, and we were like, let's give it a go. Okay, it kind of worked out well. But hey,
Yeah.
listen. Everybody
fair,
else is
though-
for the streets.
Yeah, but to be fair, I said it at the time when Microsoft bought Bethesda, which potentially at the time it was assumed they would lose all the Western RPGs. You know,
Yeah.
the Elden Ring, but it doesn't look like that. So now it doesn't matter. They don't need CD Projekt Red because they're still going to keep the Western RPGs.
Yep.
In fact, they're going to run better on the Pro.
On the base. No, really. Like, listen. I appreciate the fact that you're trying to sync PlayStation, but please don't spoil the fun, okay? Because the administrative overhead that will come from taking someone like Square Enix on board, that can never seem to be happy with anything they do, no matter how
none of their
successful.
sales are good. Like
Whoa.
every game, 3 million first week, man, we missed the mark.
Listen. You're like, really? Because let's face it, the technical competence they put in this game is not that high. The bar is lowered. Okay, you don't jump as high as you used to.
I think they
so
they
it's
still
like,
think they're
where's this money
Rockstar
going?
or something like that. Like you guys ain't the same
Well,
Square Enix
I
back
don't
in the
know.
days.
They
Something
think
happened.
that they need to sell PS2 numbers or something. Like they're trying to like hold some kind of title crown.
Those days are
Like,
long
nah.
gone for them.
Long gone, you know. So listen, hey, Aaron Truck, stop writing paragraphs afterwards, you cowards. Okay, stop terrorizing the chat with your stupid arguments. Like at a certain point, people are just tired of seeing stupidity. Okay, if you're going to speak your shit, go live, get on the mic so that people can roast you, because that's really what you're afraid of. Okay, don't be afraid of Portorock. Ah, look at him. He's so nice. He's so welcoming. Be afraid of me. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I will cook you. I want you to know that.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. All right, we hit all the topics. We're gonna go out do our outros. We'll start out with J-Dub. He's probably racing right now on his 5th track. What's going on, my brother? But man, I caught you. You on the track, dog. He has the whole racing suit and the helmet.
Facts.
That's because he's on the actual.
He got his son on the pit stop.
Man.
He got his son on the pit stop. Trying to tell Chase.
No, I was on the phone with Yoshida, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get him to go over to Xbox, try to help Xbox out. So the console war can keep on, man. That's what I'm trying to do, man.
He's trying to
I'm doing some recruiting. Yeah, I'm recruiting. Y'all know where to find me, man. Find me on Twitter at JDubCity16. You know, I'm gonna be honest, bruh. This console war shit is over, and I'm having withdrawals. You know what I'm saying? I gotta start fighting with PC and Nintendo guys pretty soon. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost out of business. You know what I'm saying?
These bots, it's down. They're down bad, man. Xbox, man. So I guess it is what it is, right? Nothing good lasts forever. We had our fun.
Yep.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
All right, okay. And then we got Extreme. Extreme's still there. He's still trying to get him on.
Hey, listen, man. I'm here for a fight. Okay, we don't have to fight Xbox anymore. They bow down. We need to create fights within the community. Okay, and you know what? When we've got some idiots in the house, it's time to pick on them. Okay. But listen, you can find me on my channel where I'm so much nicer, and I dropped 2 videos nearly back to back. Look at that. Hours worth of content. If you guys know anything about me, you know I create hours worth of content.
Yeah, he does.
So go over there.
It's
go
like an
over
audio
there.
book.
Listen. It's like
audiobook.
a beautiful novella that I read for you out loud, and you can just come and listen to. Okay, go ahead. It's fantastic. We talk about the PlayStation Portal Pro, and what else did we talk about? We talked about some Xbox thing. You know, it wasn't that interesting, but in any case, it's going to be that. Okay, so that's going to be fun. You can find me there.
All right. This is your only friend, YouTube Streets, PorterRock77. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And once again, for those that apply, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you get able to spend time with friends and family and stuff like that. For those that don't apply, because it's global, just enjoy whatever you would normally do this week. Enjoy it. Play some games. Just hang out with families just because. And stuff like that, right? Truck, Aaron, you guys got sauteed. The only thing you can do is to get on the mic and get revenge. Because the chat ain't cutting it. You guys got... He did Bobby Filet on your asses. Oh, you got cooked. cooked. Oh man, I'm just saying. There's no turning back. You gotta clap back. You got to. You got to get in the ring. Don't let him do this to you. But anyway, you only for this YouTube Street PorterRock77, and I am out of here. Damn, extreme nasty work. And thank you so much to the chat, to the super chats, to everybody who's viewing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Everyone, hit the like button. Oh, let me close out the poll. End it with 420. Yeah, for 429 votes. The question was, do you want a new PlayStation handheld? And 64% said yes. 35% said no. All right.
You know what? Next week we should do a poll to see which version of the handhelds I propose they want. Like, do they want a middle lane or do they want a full ball, full throttle thing? That would be interesting to see. Now that we know that most of them want it, we have to know which one
now we have
they
to see
want.
which one. All right. And maybe a recommended price range.
Exactly.
Right.
Like 3 to 500 for the first one, somewhere in there. And then like 8 to 1,000 for the later one. You know, something like that.
1,000. All right.
Hey, listen, y'all better get used to these numbers, bro, because they're climbing up.
Get your money up. All right. All right. You guys take care. Thank you so much. Take care. Peace.